on the BBC Sounds app, on your smart speaker,
play BBC Radio Newcastle,
and on your radio.
The sound of the North East is BBC Radio Newcastle.
With the BBC News at 4, I'm Anna Preston. The Home Secretary Suella Braverman has rejected suggestions that Brexit is behind the long delays facing ferry passengers at the port of Dover. More than 100 coaches are still waiting to cross the Channel. Labour's accused the government of failing to plan for additional paperwork checks. Poor weather and slow processing times have been causing problems since Friday. Paul Baxter from Bewdley School in Worcestershire is leading a ski trip to France who was stuck for 12 hours.
We arrived here at around about 8 o'clock last night for a 10:40 crossing, which obviously didn't happen. Throughout the night, the coach has moved steadily, 20 feet, 30 feet, and we've gone through several different holding bays. We're now quite close to customs, French customs. There's no water that they're giving out anymore. We've been given a free Kit Kat as compensation.
Miss Braverman's also accused local authorities of turning a blind eye to child sex abuse by grooming gangs, but insists new government plans will ensure they can't get away with inaction. The proposals mean people who work with children in England will be legally required to report suspicions of sexual abuse. She told Sunday with Laura Koonsberg that councils had roundly failed to safeguard vulnerable children.
There's been a social ignorance. There's been a willful turning of the blind eye. There's been a failure to act. There's been a failure to act. Silence has enabled this abuse, and we need to therefore ensure that there's a duty, there's an obligation on those professionals that they can't get away with inaction.
Well, Labour said the government had just woken up to the problem and all that was being offered was a consultation. The Pope has presided over Palm Sunday Mass at the Vatican just a day after being discharged from hospital where he was being treated for bronchitis. The 86-year-old thanked worshippers for their prayers during his illness. Residents of a coastal town in North Somerset have staged a parking flash mob overnight to protest against changes to road markings on the town's seafront. The council's faced a backlash in Clevedon over the changes, which have introduced a new cycle lane and mean drivers must park parallel to the promenade instead of looking out to sea. It says the new road markings are designed to make the area safer, but Chris Berry from the Save Our Seafronts group says people aren't happy.
The idea was poised that we should park the way that we used to park, as a sort of peaceful parking flash mob. And it's great because these aren't people who are accustomed to civil disobedience. You know, these are people who feel incredibly strongly about what's happened to their seafront.
In football, Leicester City have sacked their manager Brendan Rodgers. The team lost 2-1 to Crystal Palace yesterday, their 5th defeat in 6 Premier League matches. That's the latest. You're up to date. It's 3 minutes past 4.
Total Sport.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
To Willock, gets there first in the box. Now the cross. Isak has scored! Alexander Isak with a great finish in off the far post from the chipped cross from Joe Willock. And in first half added on time, they are level. Willock's cross in, Isak with a header. It's gone behind. Referee says penalty! Penalty kick for Newcastle in added on time, and it's Niakate who has handled it.
A stonewall penalty.
And Alexander Isak scored a penalty against Bournemouth earlier in the season, but it will seemingly be Trippier, or is he going to give it? He's given it to Isak. He's let Isak take the responsibility, so it looked like Trippier, but now it will be Isak who scored the equaliser, and Newcastle's record signing in front of the away fans at the City Ground. Alexander Isak has scored what could be the winner. It's 2-1 in added on time. It's a massive, massive goal.
Quality, that's all you can say. It's a quality penalty. But what the defender's thinking of to give the penalty away in the first place is absolutely crazy. But you have to say, deserved it.
A huge win before the break, now back from the internationals with an unchanged team for this one against Manchester United. It's Pope in goal, Trippier, Schär, Botman, Byrne at the back, Longstaff, Bruno, Willock in midfield, Murphy, Saint-Maximin and Isak in attack. And the bench sees the return of Joelinton from suspension and Anthony Gordon from injury. The other replacements are Dubravka, Lascelles, Ritchie, Wilson, Targett, Manquillo and Anderson. Win today, they'll go above Manchester United and into third. They'll also surpass last season's final points tally.
The points ultimately is what you played for. We use a whole, I mean, the game's gone statistic mad really, because we're inundated with lots of data, lots of indicators of performance, lots of comparisons with us and other teams. So we use those as good markers really for where we need to improve, areas that we're really strong at. Statistically across the board we've seen a big improvement from last year to this. Of course the challenge for us is to continue that as we move forward. I think the games at this stage get bigger and bigger because you're running out of opportunities to correct yourself if you make a mistake. So we're well aware of the importance of this game. We're back at home in front of our supporters. Our last result was a really positive one here as well. So yeah, looking forward to playing again. I think the 2 week, it's been a long 2 weeks for us. I think we were keen to play again quite quickly. But we feel we've prepared as well as we can do for this game, and yeah, the team's ready.
A 4:30 kickoff between two of the sides fighting for a place in next season's Champions League. A very good afternoon from Matthew Raisbeck and John Anderson, enjoying the St James's Park sunshine. It's a nice day here as Newcastle and Manchester United players go through their warm-up routines, and a really big fixture for both clubs in their season and in the wider context of the race for Europe. But results yesterday, Ando, were pretty good for Newcastle. Brentford and Brighton below them in 7th and 6th respectively, 4 points behind, so that draw helped Newcastle. Liverpool lost as well, and they can give themselves a big advantage in the top 4 race, can't they, by winning today?
Yeah, I mean, look at the last few results, not just yesterday, but the last round of games as well went their way as well. You've got to take advantage of it. You know, you've got to make sure that we take advantage of it here today. Big game for both sides. You know, Manchester United know that if they get beat here today, all of a sudden we jump above them, go into that third spot. So there's a lot riding on this game for both teams.
Newcastle then with the unchanged team. How surprised are you that Joelinton hasn't come back in?
I think like a lot of people, you know, we know that Eddie Howe keeps faith with players and sides that go and get results. This is a side that's won its last 2 games, but I think the majority of people, and I put myself in here as well, expected Joelinton to come back in. I think he's pivotal to this Newcastle side, but fair play to Eddie Howe. You know, he's kept faith. He's stuck with a side that's won 2 games in the bounce. He's shown faith in the players, and Joelinton has to settle for a place on the bench. So you know, he obviously feels that's the way to go. And he feels that the side that have won the last 2 games, the performances have been good, everybody's gone and done their job, and nobody deserves to be out. So that's the reason that he's left Joelinton on the bench.
And yet Alan Saint-Maximin came off at half-time against Nottingham Forest, and I think there was some concern over maybe his defensive work in that game. We didn't really see a lot of him in the attacking part of the pitch either. Eddie Howe did say that the substitution was down to Saint-Maximin having a tight hamstring. Joelinton has played on that position wide on the left of the attack and swaps with Willock, and it's a combination that's been used to good effect this season. But Saint-Maximin starts. Maybe there's a feeling, would you agree, that against the other sides at the top in the bigger games he can deliver a bit more, and he steps up because he likes the big occasion and he likes to be the star of the show?
We'll find out. You know, I mean, look at it. I think in the cup final, in that first half, he caused Dalot 1 or 2 problems, but they changed it around, Manchester United, and he didn't have the impact in the second half. look, if it falls his way, we know that he's capable. You know, he's capable of turning games. He's capable of having a huge impact on games. It just depends whether it's a going day for him or not. You hope that today is the day where he really fancies it. You know, I think he's probably looking at this and thinking, I've got another chance here. You know, I've got an opportunity. Been given an opportunity here to go and show what I'm all about against the side that's up there with us. So it's up to him. You know, he's got the short at the moment. The manager's shown belief and confidence in him. It's up to him to now go and deliver.
So it's Pope in goal, Trippier, who'll captain the side, Cher, Botman and Byrne at the back. Nick Pope had a thigh issue, didn't train before Nottingham Forest. Eddie Howe says he didn't train when the team was in Dubai during the international break, and he withdrew from the England squad, but he's okay. Pope, Trippier with Cher just inside him, and Eddie Howe, speaking before the match, said that Cher, probably more than most, benefited from the break. Another player that didn't go away with his country. He's taken a few blows and knocks recently, and it just gave him the opportunity to recover and rest. So hopefully he has overcome those niggles that the manager was referring to. And then Botman, who was ill, had food poisoning, had to come back from the Dutch squad with Byrne at left back, as we now have come to expect. Then Bruno with Longstaff and Willock in the midfield. It's going to be Sean Longstaff's 100th start for Newcastle United in all competitions. So a milestone for him personally. And then Murphy making a third start in a row and an eighth rather in the Premier League this season, with Saint-Maximin and Isak, the other players in the attack, and Dubravka, Lascelles, Joelinton, Gordon, who has recovered from an ankle injury, returned to training during the week and okay for a place on the bench. Wilson, Ritchie, Targett, Manquillo and Anderson, who was so impressive as a half-time substitute at Nottingham Forest. Joelinton and Gordon have replaced Paul Dummett and Jamal Lewis in the matchday squad. Manchester United with 3 changes. Diogo Dalot in at right back for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Raphael Varane comes in for Harry Maguire, and Anthony is brought in at the expense of Jadon Sancho. That is from the team that beat Fulham 3-1 at home before the international break to reach the semi-finals of the FA Cup. So Manchester United, David De Gea is the goalkeeper, Diogo Dalot, Raphael Varane, Lisandro Martinez and Luke Shaw. Marcel Sabitzer, the on loan Bayern Munich midfielder, who had an injury during the international break, but fit enough to start today alongside Scott McTominay, who we've been hearing plenty about over the last few weeks. Anthony, Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford, who another one that had an injury during the break from domestic action, but he's trained all week and will start for Manchester United with Wout Weghorst up front. He's started Weghorst all 19 of Manchester United's matches since he arrived in January, but he only has 2 goals, and neither of which were scored in the Premier League. Manchester United's bench, by the way, is Nathan Bishop and Jack Butland, 2 goalkeepers. Butland is on loan from Crystal Palace. Victor Lindelof, Harry Maguire, Anthony Martial, who has returned from injury, Tyrell Malacia, Fred, Jadon Sancho and Facundo Pellistri. Ahead of Newcastle ending the table, Ando Manchester United third, but 22 points behind Arsenal at the top and 14 off Manchester City in second. I suppose their objective in Premier League terms is securing a Champions League place, because it's very unlikely that they can go any higher than the point they find themselves at now, third.
Yeah, similar to ourselves. You know, can't see anybody catching the top 2. Manchester City impressive again yesterday, Arsenal impressive against Leeds. It's all about who's going to finish third and fourth, you would think. That's what makes this game so important. You know, you win today and all of a sudden you leapfrog Manchester United. It big day with the win, they open up a little bit of a gap, you know. So there's such an awful lot riding on it. You know, people are talking about the cup final, but this is another day, this is another game, you know. We're at home, atmosphere will be electric, bumper crowd again, smashing day for a game. So yeah, it's there, you know, as we spoke about earlier on. Results yet again yesterday went their way. It's all about grasping that opportunity. You know, there's a huge opportunity there for us. We need to make sure that we're able to grasp it today.
Manchester United's players are heading down the tunnel and back into the changing room. Newcastle's substitutes are having some shooting practice, and the starting players just going through some sprint work in the penalty area near the touchline next to the Gallagher end goal. One player who is in the Manchester United side today, I mentioned we've been hearing a lot about him, we've been talking a lot about him. Scott McTominay, a target of Newcastle's. It's his first Premier League start since January. Casemiro suspended, which is a huge loss for them because he's such a brilliant player, and we saw a lot of that at Wembley in the cup final. But what are your feelings on McTominay and what he can give them? Scoring goals for Scotland over the last week or so, but probably a lot of Newcastle fans reading and discussing the transfer links, maybe a bit unconvinced by him.
Yeah, you can see why he's been linked. You know, you can see him as an Eddie Howe type player. You know, he's athletic, gets up and down, covers the ground, got a good work rate about him. The fact that he scored 4 goals in his last 2 internationals bound to have given him a huge lift, a huge belief and confidence. You know, and I'm sure he'll come into this game on a real high. The fact that he's been linked with us, do I read anything into it? No, because we're going to be linked with an awful lot of players,
and they can't sign them all.
And they can't sign them all, exactly. So, you know, people have different opinions on him. Is he right for us? Is he not right for us? Would we want them? Do we not want them? You know, but the one thing you would say is, up to now, the signings that have been made since the new people have come in and taken over the football club, you can have no arguments with, you can't question it. They've got it all spot on up to now, so you know, you're not going to say whatever they do you're going to go along. I would go along with it, you know, because as I say, up to now they've got everything spot on. But it's yeah, look, it's an interesting one. The one issue, I suppose, is would Manchester United be prepared to sell to us?
Well, they weren't so willing with Jesse Lingard last January. Probably did them a favour. But there was the Martin Dubravka move earlier in the season, so a transfer happened between the clubs then. But in midfield, McTominay and Sabitzer, who is undoubtedly a very good player, but no Casemiro, and that's got to be to Newcastle's advantage, with full respect to the two who are playing there, because of the elite level that Casemiro is at.
Yeah, no Casemiro for them, huge blow. You know, in the cup final he was brilliant. You know, he scored the goal, but not just that, he broke things up in midfield. He was always in the right areas, got little toe pokes on things. You know, he was their best player by a long way. And to lose somebody of that quality, any side's going to miss him. You know, you don't win and achieve what he's achieved in the game if you can't play the game, and if you're not a good player, and he's an exceptional player, and he'll be a big loss to him.
This is BBC Radio Newcastle, just over 10 minutes to go until kick-off. Newcastle United unchanged for the match against Manchester United, and they'll move above them and go third in the league if they win. The leapfrog Spurs in fourth, who are at Everton tomorrow night in a match that's big at both ends of the Premier League table. Newcastle's opponents in midweek, West Ham, that's away from home on Wednesday night at 8. They have moved out of the bottom 3 this afternoon by beating bottom of the table Southampton by a goal to nil. Huge victory for West Ham. Long VAR check on the goal. But it puts Everton into the relegation places alongside Leicester and Southampton. Referee is Stuart Outwell from Warwickshire. It's his 4th Newcastle game this season. The other 3 were all on the south coast. Bournemouth away in the league, and then the league and League Cup victories at Southampton. VAR today is Andy Madley. We're going to hear from Eddie Howe in just a moment, but just want to say congratulations to Gateshead, who have reached Wembley. They are through to the final of the FA Trophy, and they'll play Halifax at Wembley. They beat Barnet on penalties yesterday in the semi-final. After being 3-0 up, it got back to 3-3, but Gateshead prevailed in the penalty shootout. So Mike Williamson, former Newcastle player, is in charge there. Rob Elliott is part of the staff at Gateshead as well, and there's a number of former Newcastle players involved in their squad. So they're at Wembley on Sunday the 21st of May, which is the weekend of Newcastle's home match against Leicester in the Premier League, and if they don't clash, I'm sure there'll be a big black and white contingent that will go down and want to watch Gateshead. We had commentary of the match yesterday on BBC Radio Newcastle, and you can catch up with all the action and listen to some post-match reaction in our local football roundup, which is available on BBC Sounds. And speaking of Leicester, Ando, Brendan Rodgers has gone today.
Yeah, no surprise. Results haven't been going their way. Defeat again yesterday against Crystal Palace. And you always just felt that it was going to be a question of time, and they've decided that it's best for everybody involved if they go their separate ways.
Newcastle then Pope, Trippier, Schär, Botman, Byrne, Longstaff, Bruno, Willock, Murphy, Saint-Maximin and Isak. His 7 previous Premier League starts, Alexander Isak, have yielded 6 goals at 15 Newcastle appearances in total. But when he starts in the Premier League, those statistics show that he tends to do pretty well in front of goal. 2 goals at Forest and 1 against Wolves. He's been so impressive in recent weeks, and keeping Callum Wilson out of the side. Wilson on the bench, another player Eddie Howe, Ando said, probably needed the break just to recuperate and get himself back up to the levels that we're used to seeing, but he's got a fight on to get back into the team, because indeed. Isak is the player, and he's the man of the moment.
Yeah, he is. He's been excellent in the 2 games, in the last 2 games, Wolves and Forest. It's going to be difficult for Callum Wilson to get back into the side if Isak keeps performance to the level that he has been. And that's what you want. You know, you want competition. You want players to know that they're going to have to keep performing if they want to stay in the side, and it's been like that all season, to be fair. You know, players have had to go, they've had to do it week in, week out. Full credit to them, they've been able to go and do that. But yeah, Wilson, you know, there's a lot of games coming, a lot of games in this month, you know, so it could be important to rotate your squad, but it will be difficult for him to get back in.
We're almost ready to go then, here on BBC Radio Newcastle and NUFC TV. Teams will be with us any moment, so let's hear from the man in charge, because Eddie Howe was always confident Newcastle wouldn't let their season fizzle out after the defeat by Manchester United in the League Cup final 5 weeks ago.
Knowing the squad as I do, I didn't fear that, but you never quite know how a negative result can affect your mentality and your confidence levels. I think the cup final was a distraction in our league form for a period of time. However much we tried to focus on the next game, and everything around the cup final, I think was a difficult moment for us in the Premier League. But the lads have recovered really well, and the last 2 results have put us back on track.
For you, what sense is there of owing them one for the defeat in the final?
Yeah, I don't necessarily think we've looked at it like that. I think we've looked at the game and tried to break it down without any emotion, and just, as I say, try and look at the game and try and improve certain aspects of our performance. We did a lot right, and we did a couple of things wrong and got punished for that, and that's the quality of team we're playing against. That if, for example, you don't defend well from a wide free kick and you concede the first goal, that those things swing momentum, and in a moment in the game I thought we were really competitive and probably the superior team. Then that made it difficult from that moment onwards.
Looking at what lies ahead for you, how critical do you see the next few weeks? You've got 7 matches in April, you've got to play Spurs, who are just ahead of you at present, and obviously Manchester United on Sunday. And, well, it's hotting up, isn't it, the race for the European places?
Yeah, it's a massive month, as you say. I think whenever you have an intense period of games, you know, those results are going to define really what we do this season. The last 2 results have put us in a really strong position, and also I think just lifted confidence levels and morale within the squad. So this is going to be a big week to come. We have Manchester United first. We have to just focus on that alone and learn our lessons from the cup final defeat and analyse that game, which we have, and try and improve.
I don't know if you come across as a cure or not, Paul.
I'm not much of a cure. I hate queues. I've got no patience for queues.
Gilly Hope.
So say you're really hungry and you go out for a day trip to Whitby with your lovely other half, and she wants some chips from a particular chip shop. Would you wait in that queue for love?
That's happened in the past, and I point blank refused.
Not even for love?
Not even for chips.
Gilly Hope. Weekdays from 2. BBC Radio Newcastle, making a difference in the North East. Matthew Raisbeck and black and white legend John Anderson.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Some pre-match thoughts from the Newcastle head coach, Eddie Howe. What sense, Ando, is there for you of owing Manchester United one, wanting to just give them one for what happened in the cup final at Wembley? I'm sure it's on the minds of all supporters, and we know the rivalry here goes back a long way, and it's still considered a really big fixture by so many of Newcastle's followers. But is that a thing?
No, I don't think so. I don't think you can look at it that way at all. As I said earlier, today's another day. You know, different ground, different outlook. We're at home. Majority of supporters are here for us. You know, at Wembley it was, 50-50. So, look, you can't think back to the cup final. You know, the cup final's been and it's gone. We didn't win that one. It's another game, another match. It's an important game, one that you hope that we can win. And I think here we've shown that we can give anybody a game. You know, and we're capable of holding our own here against anybody. So fingers crossed it goes our way today.
Here are the teams. Kieran Trippier and Bruno Fernandes leading out the two sides at the two ends of St James's Park. At the Gallagher end, the We Are the Mags giant surfer banner with the magpie in the middle is being passed up to the top, right back to the supporters in the last row of the Gallagher, and to our left at the Leazers end, a new huge surfer banner, We Are Newcastle, with black and white stripes, and again it's got the names of supporters who've contributed to the display printed on there. And as we're used to seeing the individual black and white flags out all around St James's Park, just as they were at Wembley for the League Cup final. And I think fans, good heart and good voice as we approach kick-off. The Manchester United players just shaking the hands of the referee, Stuart Atwell, and his two assistants, Lee Betts and Darren Cann. Fourth official today is Michael Salisbury, and a reminder it's Andy Madley on VAR duty with assistance from Harry Leonard. Manchester United, David De Gea in goal, Diogo Dalot, Rafael Varane, Lisandro Martinez and Luke Shaw is the back four. Marcel Sabitzer and Scott McTominay in midfield. Anthony, Bruno Fernandes, who got 2 goals in their FA Cup win at Fulham, over Fulham a couple of weeks ago, and Marcus Rashford with Wout Weghorst up front, their bench. Nathan Bishop, Jack Butland, Victor Lindelof, Harry Maguire, Anthony Martial, Tyrell Malacia, Fred, Jadon Sancho, Facundo Pastry, a 21-year-old Uruguayan international forward. Newcastle, Nick Pope, Kieran Trippier, Fabian Schär, Sven Botman, Dan Burn, Bruno Guimaraes, Sean Longstaff and Joe Willock, Jacob Murphy, Alan Saint-Maximin, who is 20 games for Newcastle without a goal. Saint-Maximin. Murphy has gone 23 without a goal since he scored in the home win over Brentford in October. And Isak through the middle. Substitutes are Martin Dubravka, Jamal Lascelles, Joelinton, Anthony Gordon, Callum Wilson, Matt Ritchie, Matt Targett, Javier Manquillo, Elliot Anderson. Kieran Trippier in the centre circle with Bruno Fernandes. They've done the coin toss. The rest of Newcastle's team are in a huddle, waiting for the skipper. We're just about all set and ready to go. Eddie Howe thought they played well in many ways in the cup final. The game at Old Trafford was not bad either earlier in the season. Newcastle took a point from a goalless draw, could have had more. How good do they need to be today to win, Ando?
Look, I watched Manchester United lately. I don't think Manchester United are great. As I said, I think if we perform the way that we have been performing here, you would hope that that would be enough to get a win. Manchester United aren't great. I think they're there for the taking. So everything's crossed and I'm right.
A chance to go third in the Premier League and back above Manchester United. We're underway. You listen to BBC Radio Newcastle and NUFC TV. Newcastle defending the goal to our right, which is at the Gallagher end. That means they kick uphill in the first half. Black and white stripes, black shorts and black socks. Manchester United got us started. And they play it now back to the goalkeeper, De Gea from Martinez. Closed down by Isak and Saint-Maximin in the penalty area. Dalot lifts it away. McTominay chasing it out to this near touchline, but Botman sees it over the line for a throw. Red shirt, white shorts and white socks for the visitors. De Gea all in yellow, Pope all in light green for Newcastle. And the referee wearing blue shirt, black shorts and socks. Burn with a throw, Saint-Maximin takes it back. Cher towards Botman, who let it come towards him and has played it out off Anthony, but almost got into a bit of a sticky spot there, Newcastle, with the possession around their own box. Burn with another throw, Willock lifting it over Sabitzer and onto Isak, and a high ball to the far right-hand side. Murphy lets it bounce and brings it under control. Into the second minute of the match, Murphy approaching the edge of the area, back to Bruno, who's got Trippier out wide. Scoops out a pass to find Trippier. Now Longstaff trying to cut it back and wins. A corner kick, does he? Yeah, referee points to the corner. Linesman's flag goes down next to the flag, and Newcastle with Jacob Murphy to deliver the set pieces. Trippier trots back into the middle of the half. Decent break down the right. Chance to create something.
Yeah, delivery needs to be good. Murphy gone across. Trippier's on his way over now.
It's more set-piece shenanigans from Newcastle, like the penalty at Forest. Murphy's jogged back. Trippier takes the corner, near post, flicked clear. And now they've got to watch the counter-attack as Anthony runs up towards halfway. Joe Willock gets his toe on the ball, pushes it out for a Manchester United throw on the far side.
I think that's what we've got to be careful of. When they counter with pace, they get numbers forward. I think that's what they'll try and do. They'll try and sit in Manchester United and just try and break on us.
They got caught by Liverpool, didn't they?
Yeah.
On the counter-attack a few times, punished by Liverpool. This is Trippier intercepting a ball forwards. His pass down the line's kept in by Martinez, and Sabitzer back towards De Gea. Difficult ball to control, but he's taken a touch, and then away it goes. Excellent control by Shaw, and inside to Bruno Fernandes. Volley down the line for Rashford. It's unbelievable technique. Rashford into the area. Stopped by Cher though. Trippier now to Longstaff, might have been a nutmeg. And Longstaff, what a ball from Sean Longstaff for Isak. Varane with him, holds it up and wins a throw. So, lively start, end to end. 0-0 after 3.5 minutes.
Good pace of the game, isn't it? Plenty of pace about it.
Bruno gets it from Trippier's throw, back to the England international, and Botman in the centre circle to Burn, back to Sven Botman. got Cher inside, that's where it goes. Furthest outfield player back, 10 yards from halfway. On to Trippier on the halfway line, having a look. Isak drops in, Murphy's there too. It's Isak. He's lifted it up towards Longstaff, header won by Luke Shaw. And McTominay on his chest, back to the goalkeeper De Gea. First time clearance with plenty of height, and Byrne rises to nod it forwards, and Willock down to Saint-Maximin, taking on Dalot for the first time. Out wide again to Willock. Byrne with a run into the area, and the ball on from Joe Willock is eventually behind for a goal kick.
Poor ball, wasn't it? Lack of communication, breakdown in communication between Willock and Saint-Maximin. Willock thought he was going to make the run outside him. He didn't go.
It's the voice of John Anderson here on BBC Radio Newcastle, the former Newcastle and Ireland defender. We'll bring you every match live. No goals yet this afternoon. David De Gea waving his defenders upfield, and the ball follows, and now McTominay beats Botman in an aerial challenge, recovered by Longstaff though, and Bruno back to Pope, takes a touch around his former Burnley teammate Weghorst. Cher with the diagonal ball, on by Dalot. McTominay on his chest, Bruno with a challenge, Botman away, Sabitzer takes over, plays it against Botman at the edge of the area, then Willock, good ball juggling skills, and Byrne to Bruno, and on now towards Saint-Maximin, but Varane intercepts on halfway. Sabitzer now to Anthony in the final third, taking on Byrne, cuts inside, and through for Sabitzer in the area, trouble here, Botman, brilliant block, and Willock away. And Isak trying to get the better of Lisandro Martinez, but he's read that situation, cleared it straight to Bruno. Longstaff shifts it, Murphy's got it now, 30 yards out, nobody in the box. Murphy cuts inside, he's got Trippier giving him an overlapping option. Trippier then swings it in, looking for Isak at the back post. Sean Longstaff blocked in the area. Longstaff again, a back heel to Bruno, and then Manchester United clear. And Botman in the Newcastle half turns, faces forwards, and swings it out on the diagonal to Trippier.
Good ball.
Excellent touch from Trippier. Now for Murphy to chase, but it's beaten him and gone behind.
Yeah, it's a lively start, isn't it? Half chances at both ends. Great header back across goal. Isak just plays it back in. Mishits it, doesn't he? Bit of a fresh air, and then a good little back heel.
It was blocked initially, the left-footed Longstaff shot by Martinez. I don't know if maybe he connected with his heel. We need to see it again properly. But an opportunity for Newcastle. The whistling and the booing is because David De Gea has taken an eternity over the goal kick.
Yes, and we don't know anything about that, do we?
Eric Ten Hag was at it again in the build-up to the match, talking about Newcastle time wasting and ball not being in play, things like that, and they already after 6-7 minutes not in a rush to get the match going again. Referee did whistle, blow his whistle, and tell De Gea to take the goal kick, and Newcastle have a free kick on the far side. Couple of steps inside the Manchester United half, right out on the touchline. Trippier behind the ball. 0-0, but pretty vibrant St James's Park. Good start, and one opening in the penalty area a few moments ago, but blocked. Trippier, diagonal ball to the edge of the box. Byrne, it's come on towards Fabian Cher, but the whistle has gone for a push by Byrne as he climbed and connected with the ball forwards. And a pretty easy decision for Stuart Atwell to give that one, I think.
Yeah, you could see it from here. He's just leaning in on top of him.
8 minutes on the clock, and the first time they've been singing about Alan Shearer, Manchester United's fans. Got it with De Gea, who gets it back from Shaw, edge of the area, and now Martinez. Look like they were under a bit of pressure at one point, but they've played their way out of trouble. But now Martinez back to De Gea, and he's found Bruno Fernandes, who's pulled out wide left. 0-0 on BBC Radio Newcastle. Cher with a nod to Trippier, and then he gets it back again in the corner, shifts it pings it forwards into midfield. Bruno Fernandes header straight to Bruno Guimaraes. Out wide left to Willock. Back to Bruno. And he's able just to steer it back to Botman under pressure from McTominay. Edge of the box, Newcastle. Share over to Botman again. He's having a look. And it's Isak. Nice attempted turn by Isak, and he was fouled by Martinez. He's holding his lower left leg, but he's going to be all right, I think. Hoists himself up, Isak. He just clipped it away around him, and the challenge came in.
Yeah. No complaints, free kick.
Bruno Guimaraes to Fabian Schär down the line. The Newcastle right to Kieran Trippier, who's having to come back with it. He's the only outfield player, Trippier, to have started every Premier League match this season for Newcastle, with Almiron now injured. Burn to Willock, and back again to the big man, inside to Bruno. Nice quick play by Newcastle, onto Murphy, takes it forwards, good first touch, and helps it out wide to Trippier. Back through for Murphy, but straight to Shaw, who is now trying to clear, and Murphy's won a throw, giving Newcastle on the attack. Good recovery. Trippier down the line to Murphy, and inside to Longstaff, and it's a goal kick. Martinez with the challenge.
Yeah, good defending, wasn't it? Just tracked the run of Longstaff. Stood big and firm.
Nil-nil. 11 minutes. Only one win in their last 9 Premier League meetings for Newcastle. Their victory in October 2019 with Matty Longstaff's famous goal. They've lost 6 and drawn 2 of the other 8, so chasing a first win in 3.5 years against Manchester United today. Bruno Fernandes, left side of central midfield. Shaw, high ball into the area for 6'6" Weghorst, nods it back. McTominay's in there, but it's Botman who finds Trippier, and Longstaff inside to Bruno, drags it back and then through the legs of McTominay. In fact, no, it was Weghorst, and the crowd enjoyed that one. Burned down the line towards Isak, Varane away. That'll be a Newcastle throw, left full-back position. It's competitive, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it's lively. I think it's probably a little bit too stretched for both managers.
Could be a foul on Bruno Guimaraes, but Anthony runs away with it into the area. Here's Wout Weghorst, hits the side netting. Goal kick.
Got to go across the goalkeeper.
Went for the near side, Pope had it covered, and Newcastle not happy about the challenge on Bruno, who is complaining to the referee.
Nothing wrong with it. He's won the ball. Clean win of the ball. Not every tackle's a foul.
Well, they played on, and Weghorst off target. Pope from the right side of his 6-yard box. In the shade at St James's Park. And a nice afternoon with a long kick over the head of Willock. Isak can't get there. Martinez.
What a ball.
Diagonal ball into the corner on the near side. Anthony with Burn. He's at the goal line. Plays it back to Diogo Dalot. High cross hung up to the back stick. Trippier heads it away. Maybe could have let it go, but perhaps wasn't sure who was behind him. Rashford was lurking, and it's out for a Manchester United throw 20 yards out in front of the East stand. No goals. Martinez and Varane didn't play in their last match because of a small injury, as Eric Ten Hag, his manager, called it. But back today, Anthony flicking it around. Burn, assistant referee.
Get up there with that.
And they've got a free kick. Bit soft.
No, it's a free kick, but Anthony's milking it.
Jason Tindall, the Newcastle assistant manager, is about half a metre from him, and with his hands in his pockets, is just staring at Anthony, who is off the pitch. He's got 2 members of staff with him. Eric Ten Hag is having a go at the 4th official, Michael Salisbury. Referees come over now to talk to Anthony, and there are fans next to us who are out of their seats. Anthony's now back on 2 feet, the Brazilian winger, and the match has restarted. It's 0-0. I'll tell you what, the crowd are really up for this, which is perhaps no bad thing. And as you predicted, there's absolutely nothing wrong with him.
No.
Seen that many, many times, haven't you? Rashford with the ball. McTominay cut out by Byrne, who's got space to move into, and Saint-Maximin to the left. Dan Byrne over halfway and still going. Plays it out wide for Alan Saint-Maximin. 2 to take on, Sabitzer and Dalot. Skipping inside, turning back outside, then inside again. Using it by finding Bruno. Up to Murphy, edge of the area. Longstaff in the box. Decent cross in. Headed away as far as Saint-Maximin. He can't take it first time. Out to the corner on this near side. In away from Anthony. Still Saint-Maximin. He's got the ball on the edge of the area. What will he do with it? Back to Bruno. To Murphy. Looking for Bruno, who's gone down. Couldn't get the return. Manchester United play on. But Weghorst can't take the ball in his stride, and Trippier back to Pope. Bruno screaming at the referee. Wanted the free kick, got nothing. It's BBC Radio Newcastle, it's 0-0. 15 minutes played. Isak's dropped into a pocket of space now. He's on the move. He's got 2 options to the right. Trippier one of them. Murphy down the line. Murphy with a chance to deliver. Hangs up the cross. Isak saved. Joe Willock can't put it in. Here's Saint-Maximin, but it's cleared. Botman with a header on to
what a save.
Byrne, and now Schär forwards from halfway. Big Newcastle opportunity. Fabian Schär keeping them going. Longstaff pass out towards Murphy is blocked. Bruno Guimaraes takes over. Murphy with another chance to cross, cuts inside. And it's ended up in the hands of De Gea off the boot of a defender. But David De Gea a few moments ago with a massive save for Manchester United from Isak's near post header.
Oh, what a save it is. Great little ball played in. It's a smashing header as well. Headed it down. De Gea, top save.
Then the follow-up from Willock was blocked as well. Martinez to Bruno Fernandes in between the lines. He's picked the ball up and given it straight to Botman. Bruno Guimaraes away from Bruno Fernandes and into the Manchester United half. It's been held up slightly. It's with Murphy, who switched it, and Saint-Maximin on his chest. That's good. Here he goes. Angled run into the box. Saint-Maximin twisting and turning and curling one towards the far bottom corner. De Gea down to make the stop.
Back pass. Great ball, Murphy, great switch of play. It's just cut inside, you can see what he wants to do. But he got nothing on it, did he?
Well, they've had all the attempts at goal really on target, Newcastle, haven't they? With the 2 blocked there, then Saint-Maximin. And Longstaff had an effort blocked by the defender. Weghorst into the side netting at the other end. It's now Rashford for Manchester United. 27 goals in all competitions this season into midfield. Bruno Fernandes rides a couple of challenges, plays in Anthony in the box right side, curls it over to the far post and behind.
No. Least said about it, the better.
Pope's got Botman and Schär either side of the 6-yard box for this goal kick. And just an early reminder to catch Total Sport tomorrow, 6 o'clock. BBC Radio Newcastle, North East only football phone-in. Monday to Friday, 6 till 8, and all the latest from the weekend's games. Here's Trippier over the top, Isak chasing, but De Gea's favourite, gets there, puts it out. It's a throw. 30 to 35 yards from the goal. Isak takes it quickly, gets it back from Trippier, then loses it, but wins it back again. Alexander Isak looking for a yard of space for the shot. He's instead played it to Willock, onto Saint-Maximin, left corner of the area. Not much space, but he's dug out a cross and a header just wide from Sean Longstaff at the near post.
Offside.
I don't know how he picked him out in the middle, but the flag has gone up, so it's a free kick rather than goal kick. But didn't have a lot of room really. Saint-Maximin, crowded penalty area, and Longstaff was offside.
Yeah, you want to see St. Maximin do more of that. Nice early ball just around the corner.
Squeezed the cross in between two defenders and behind others. And Longstaff in another good position in the box, but just offside. Isak to Murphy. Newcastle are playing well, but it's 0-0. This is Sabitzer. Might have been fouled by Bruno Guimaraes, and Stuart Atwell's blown his whistle. And no complaints about that one. It's in the centre circle. And Varane puts the ball down, wearing gloves, long sleeves. Back to Diogo Dalot, who's substituted at half-time at Wembley, having been yellow-carded, up against St. Maximin. Started today, replaced Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who's not in the squad. Long ball forwards, up to Rashford. Trippier away. Willock with a bouncing ball. It's come to Anthony, then Willock with a block, and can get St. Maximin away with a pass down the line. He's kept it in. Alan St. Maximin are now heading into the penalty area. It's a good run, but the pass is behind Bruno. And then Willock with a block. And it's gone out, spun out on the far side for a Manchester United throw. We're almost at the midway point in the first half. What do you think, Ando?
Good game, lively game, end to end. Good pace about it. Stretched, isn't it? It's a lot of these games are usually condensed in midfield, but this is well stretched.
Trippier intercepts from the Manchester United throw. Longstaff to Murphy. Digs out a chipped pass down the line, but Lisandro Martinez is in plenty of room and has time to control and pass it forwards to Sabitzer, the Austrian international. Martinez, the Argentinian, back to De Gea. Varane carries it forwards. Anthony. Byrne holding him up. Big mismatch with height and size. And then a clash between the pair, and the referee has sprinted over to intervene. Byrne disagreed with the decision. He's holding on to the ball. He might get booked for dissent here, Dan Byrne. He's going to get a telling off.
Dan Byrne's all over him.
Stuart Atwell speaking to the Newcastle left-back. And it's a conversation, not a caution. 0-0.
No, it's never a yellow card.
No, it's more for the reaction. Referee's dealt with that. And Dalot back to Varane, closed down by Isak, into the box to his goalkeeper. De Gea onto Martinez. Clipped over halfway, controlled by Sabitzer. Back to Shaw. Inside to Martinez, 10 yards from halfway. Murphy with the Newcastle press, and then Longstaff as well, but Manchester United have beaten it, play it around black and white shirts, and Rashford 30 yards out on the left wing. It's back to Shaw, and it's out of a touch from a Newcastle player. Martinez back to Shaw, closed down inside to Bruno Fernandes, and Shaw. It's good possession, back to goalkeeper De Gea, but Newcastle push up towards halfway. De Gea with a couple of big stops so far. Sabitzer with a flick down the line. Rashford keeps it in, but it's back to Longstaff, who has won a free kick. Contact from behind from Luke Shaw. And it's out on the right wing.
The big boys go forward.
Getting on for 35 yards. Applause for Anthony Gordon, Jamal Lascelles and Elliot Anderson, who've gone for a jog along the touchline as Kieran Trippier is ready to take the free kick. Similar sort of position to the one that they created a goal from against Wolves with the Isak header, isn't it? But just at in the other half of the field.
Yeah, it's good position, good delivery, Trippier standing over it, as you would expect. All the big boys gone in there as well.
Trippier towards the back of the box, but Dalot away. Saint-Maximin has the ball under his control, and Bruno Guimaraes now down the left wing, back to Saint-Maximin, inside to Fabian Schär, over to Willock, middle of Manchester United's half. He takes a touch, moves it on to Murphy. Down the right wing to Trippier, lifted in, Bruno on his chest, Jacob Murphy with a hit.
Just lashed at it, didn't he?
It's gone well wide of goal, coming onto it, half volley from Murphy, left-footed. Would have been a spectacular goal. Difficult technique. Good block by Longstaff right on top of Shaw, and stops Manchester United playing their way out from the back. It's a throw in the full-back position. 25 minutes played, no goals, unchanged Newcastle team, but Joelinton and Gordon back among the substitutes. Diogo Dalot, chance for the Portuguese international to run, and he does. He's looking for Rashford, who's popped up on the right. Burn with a bit of contact. No foul. It's the first one that they haven't had, and it have been one that they would expect to get. Saint-Maximin, lovely turn, uses it really well to find Longstaff, out to Willock. Newcastle on the left wing in Manchester United territory. Back to Saint-Maximin in front of halfway as Ten Hag again takes it out on the fourth official. Schär to Trippier. Bruno with McTominay behind him, holding on to the ball. Is that a foul on Bruno? Referee says no. Murphy's then lost possession. Trippier with a challenge wins it back, and it's gone for Manchester United throw. Well, Rashford and Anthony have swapped wings. Just take another look at that if you can. I mean, maybe you don't need to see it again, but
I mean, he stands on his boot. His boot comes off. Some you get, some you don't.
Yeah, Manchester United tend to get quite a few, but they didn't get that one. Now it's a Newcastle throw on halfway on the far side. Good match. Bit of needle, good atmosphere. No goals though. Trippier throwing it back to Schär. So Rashford on the right, Anthony on the left. And Botman in the middle of Newcastle's half. Over it goes to Schär, back to Pope. Takes a touch and then lifts it away. Isak heads it up and on, but Varane with a nod down. And Martinez inside to Sabitzer in midfield. Varane.
Oh, well played.
The ball to Rashford in a bit of space. It's taken a nick off a Newcastle player. The pass forwards. Longstaff on to Burn. And then looking for Saint-Maximin, trying to bend it inside Dalot, who's read it well and got it back to his goalkeeper. It was the ball to play, though, from Burn. And then De Gea out to Shaw. Sabitzer back to Shaw, who's dropped his shoulder, moved away, found Bruno Fernandes, and they've used it really well, Manchester United. Good possession. McTominay now to Rashford and back towards McTominay. Willock gets in the way, and the Scottish international has to push it back to Varane. Dalot to Shaw, who's playing as an extra central midfielder at the moment. To Varane. Newcastle not letting them forwards.
Quite happy just to keep it though, Manchester United, aren't they?
It's their first away fixture in the league since they were beaten 7-0 by Liverpool. And that's Anthony trying to flick it on, but it's back with Newcastle, and Bruno finds another black and white shirt. Schär, Trippier in front of halfway. Longstaff is down the line on the right. Passes it inside to Bruno Guimaraes. McTominay's all over him, and Newcastle and Bruno get the free kick. It's the first one that Bruno's had all day. Kind of improved his mood. This is Byrne as they come across to the left side to Saint-Maximin, who is wrestled to the floor by Dalot on the halfway line. And whistle has gone again. BBC Radio Newcastle. Saint-Maximin with the free kick back to Byrne and then to Botman, stretching, controls it, pushes it back to the goalkeeper, and Pope near the penalty spot, up towards Isak on halfway. Varane's got up and headed it backwards, but Martinez was covering behind, and he then flicks it to Varane. It's with Luke Shaw sent off for England against Italy during the break, 2 yellow cards. Shaw's pass, and then it's Anthony and Bruno Fernandes. It's Manchester United possession now for the last couple of minutes or so, and what had been a frantic opening period has slowed a little.
Yeah, the game started at real good pace. You always felt that it would slow, get into a little bit more of a rhythm.
Cher with a challenge on Weghorst, and now Murphy to Willock. Saint-Maximin to the left. Plenty of red shirts back. Here's Alan Saint-Maximin. Back to Joe Willock. It's opened up. Willock hits it, takes a big deflection, and that's a corner on the right-hand side.
Yeah, it wasn't the cleanest strike, was it? But he found plenty of space in that midfield area. Willock, no red shirt anywhere near him.
Botman and Cher hanging back outside the box. Willock and Saint-Maximin are in the D. Now the 2 defenders go in there. Bruno's on the goalkeeper. Trippier to take it. It's driven towards the back of the goal. Varane header off the line. It's over the top of De Gea. And
Hayes saying that he was impeded.
Newcastle
might have been looked at actually if Anton had come of it.
Newcastle throw on the left. That was just dropping in, wasn't it, towards the back post. Varane with important header away. They've thrown it to Willock, who stretches the play, plays it across to Trippier, then Bruno out wide to Murphy. Back to Trippier, and the 2 centre-halves are now back in their own half, and Byrne in there with them as Botman takes it up to halfway, gives it to Byrne, back again to Botman, closed down by Dutch international Weghorst. Pope to Trippier on the far side, first time onto Longstaff's got a man at his back, and that'll be a Newcastle free kick. Trippier takes it quickly. Longstaff's moved into space, giving him an angle, and strides over halfway. Kieran Trippier now going on the overlap, but it's Longstaff into Bruno and then back out to him again. Turns it on to Trippier, then inside to Bruno, looking to scoop it up for Murphy in the box, but Martinez on his chest. So casual and cool to intercept. And Bruno Fernandes with a run and a pass to Sabitzer, back to Rashford, clipped over the top for Bruno Fernandes' run, and they've got 2 in the middle. Newcastle need to get defenders back. Here's the cross, and it's Dalot with a deflected shot that Pope claims.
Great break, wasn't it?
Up from full-back, connected with the ball over, but an important Newcastle deflection to get it back into the hands of their goalkeeper. Willock in a tight spot, good control. Saint-Maximin having his shirt tugged, but play on. He's found Bruno, and Longstaff 10 yards in front of Newcastle's box. Lovely ball. He's had a good first half, Sean Longstaff, hasn't he? Trippier up to Murphy, who turns. He's got Isak to the right, Saint-Maximin in the middle, and then it comes left to Willock. Anticipation as Willock gets into the area and goes for the shot, which takes a deflection and is hacked clear by Martinez. Botman fouled by his compatriot Weghorst. Referee says play on.
Well played, referee. Well done.
Bruno out of red shirts in front of him. It's back to Trippier. What a ball that is for Murphy in the area. Takes it under control, heads for the line, wins a corner. Newcastle United 0, Manchester United 0. 11 minutes to the break. And another corner kick, which they've taken quickly. Trippier to Murphy. and Longstaff back out to Trippier. Now the cross, headed away by McTominay. And Willock's got to be quick here, and he is. And he's beaten Anthony to it and played forwards to Trippier, but he goes back to Pope. Nothing risky. Botman has got his left wrist strapped. Passes it to Byrne, and Botman again, who can turn and shift it and look forwards, and a driven diagonal ball. Longstaff controls it. Murphy lets it run. Isak on the move up ahead. Murphy finding Isak in the area. Blocked again and headed clear. Oh, it opened up nicely for Newcastle. Another good break, but more Manchester United defending to thwart them. Rashford with good feet. Byrne sticking to the task and sliding it out for a throw. And Dan Byrne, clenched fists, screams to the supporters at the front of the Millburn stand. He enjoyed that one.
Yeah, just as well he got something on it, or he was away.
And the volume levels have increased again after a quiet few minutes. Varane on a run, and he's given it to Anthony and stayed in the box. Anthony, the Brazilian, towards Bruno Fernandes. Trippier header away.
Good header.
And he's chased his own header, Trippier, and looked for some support. It's just inside away from Longstaff. Share, good challenge. Longstaff's got it this time. Could go to the left to Saint-Maximin, and that's who he's aimed for, but it was behind him. And despite a really good attempt at keeping it in, it's a Manchester United throw. Jason Tyndall with the instructions next to Eddie Howe in the technical area. Sabitzer plays it back into their half for Manchester United to Martinez, and Varane out to the right touchline, this near side to Dalot, into the midfielder Sabitzer with his hair in a ponytail. Brought down by Rashford, looking for Bruno Fernandes. Challenge comes in, that's goal kick. Bruno Fernandes, and Trippier has a strong word in his ear, as do one or two others. He's known for antics, shall we say. And he's rolling around after the challenge came in. At first glance, didn't see much wrong with that. Fabian Schär's helped him up. And it's a Newcastle goal kick, 0-0.
What's he complaining? Oh, he loves a moan, this fella.
Honestly, he is the biggest whinger in the Premier League. Referee says get on with the game. Fair play to Stuart Atwell, because there'd be many referees.
To be fair, he might have a point.
The ball spun away and went behind, didn't it? And Schär came in to try to clear. There was obviously some contact, certainly upper body, I think, between the two.
But I think he's claiming a corner kick, and as I say, I think he may have had a point about that one. There was never anything else.
There's only one Bruno, sing the Newcastle fans. 38th minute. Botman, great challenge, strong play, and he's on the charge upfield. Saint-Maximin takes over. Look at this electric speed from Saint-Maximin. Now a pass to Sean Longstaff, who hits it. Oh, that would have been a wonderful goal, and it's just arrowed wide of the top corner. A fine hit from Longstaff, just off target.
Great hit.
Oh.
It's always drifting, wasn't it? Just always going away from goal.
And he's so sweetly struck.
Yeah, great strike.
From this seat in the Millburn stand behind the Newcastle bench, that looked as though it was going to make the net bulge. And so close from Longstaff. Still 0-0 on BBC Radio Newcastle. Botman with a big header. And Isak looking for Murphy, away by Manchester United. Trippier finds Murphy, and then Shaw with a challenge, Murphy with another. McTominay's got it though, this could be dangerous. Rashford with the cross, Schär heads away, and Longstaff, good play to find Bruno, and back through for Longstaff in the middle. And he's gone for the diagonal, but Dalot is there, and had to be there for his team to head it away, and he's got it back. A return ball, a flick from Anthony, and a great cross from Dallow.
That is.
What a brilliant ball in, but nobody touched it, and it's a Newcastle throw near the corner flag on the far side.
Oh, great little touch and great ball. Just got it out of his feet and just whipped it around players. Great game.
It's been such a good half, hasn't it?
Good game.
Fans on their feet in the Strawberry corner as the throw is taken, and down the line it goes. Another Newcastle ball out of a red shirt. If they draw today, there'll be a point behind the top four. Remember, Spurs in fourth playing tomorrow night, and it will just help their cause, won't it? As Isak takes it down beautifully and plays it to Saint-Maximin. There's three defenders back. Saint-Maximin into the penalty area. He could take it himself. Here's Joe Willock.
Oh, you've got to keep it down.
Blazed it over the top.
Got to keep it down.
Saint-Maximin cut it across, and Willock coming onto it had to score, and it's off target. It's a massive, massive chance to make it 1-0, and he knows it.
Oh, huge chance, but not to even hit the target. Great touch, Isak, turned away. Good pullback, got to hit the target.
He's gone for power.
Leaning back, always leaning back. It's always going to rise over the top.
And there's no doubt that Joe Willock is very capable in front of goal, but it's just the wrong shot selection there, isn't it? In a fantastic position to capitalise, and now Manchester United going down the other end, trying to make Newcastle rue those missed chances. They've got a corner on the right. Anthony with the run. 41st minute. Longstaff just wide. Willock over the top. Isak with a header saved, and then the follow-up blocked as well. Chances that they reflect on, I'm sure. Got to defend this Luke Shaw corner first. Murphy's near post. Saint-Maximin near the corner of the 6-yard box. Everybody is back in a defensive position. Shaw's clipped it towards the back of the area, and it's volleyed over by Lisandro Martinez.
No, it was...
Or was it Anthony? It was Anthony.
He's gone for the spectacular. Why didn't he just wait to drop? Yeah. Look.
He has gone for the scissor kick.
Just volley it.
Oh, he's run off as well. Nobody's seen him. Unsighted.
It's poor. Thankfully.
"42 minutes, another cheer up Alan Shearer chant. They've got, I think, a full away section, Manchester United. There's a couple of empty seats, but it is near to half-time. 0-0 the score in what's been a fantastic game so far. Here's Alan Saint-Maximin taking on Dallow into the area and beating him, and back to Isak, blocked, back to Isak again. They want handball, referee says no. Weghorst back to Anthony, middle of Manchester United's half. Bruno Fernandes playing it forwards, and Anthony again with Dan Burn to beat. They've held him up sufficiently, and it's back to Dallow. Saint-Maximin causing problems with his running and his trickery, and Isak with 2 bites of the cherry there as Anthony miscontrols, and that's a Newcastle throw. What about the chance at the Leazer's end?
Yeah, good hit, good block. Saint-Maximin just rolls it back. Hits him in the chest.
Shoulder, maybe. I've just seen a replay, and it was Lisandro Martinez with the block. Burn with the throw. Willock trying to get around Sabitzer. Varane forwards. Weghorst chests down to Anthony. McTominay with Bruno, the 2 number 39s at the edge of the area. Is that handball by McTominay? It's a goal kick anyway. Bruno telling the referee there was a handball there. Pope puts the ball down. Cher and Botman work their way towards the halfway line. Eddie Howe's black and white army is the cry. It's Isak and Murphy wait for the ball. Murphy's got up, but Shaw behind him won the header. Rashford cut out by Bruno Guimaraes. Newcastle throw. Trippier with it, looking for Bruno, and he was fouled by McTominay. It's just as well because the ball spun loose, and it would have been Manchester United's to carry towards goal. Saint-Maximin's pulling out wide on this near side. He's got space as well. Willock's through the middle, up there with Isak. The free kick is middle part of Newcastle's half, right of centre, and Cher. And he's gone for the diagonal. It's towards Byrne, who heads on, and Willock trying to run around Sabitzer, and he did, and Dalot cleared it with his left. Longstaff gets up, it's a useful header. Isak rises. It's with Shaw, left back position. Isak makes the block, and Michael Salisbury, the fourth official, has been instructed to add a minimum of a minute to this first half.
Yeah, there hasn't been a great deal of stoppage, has there? It's been all go for the 45 minutes. It's been decent.
Tominay receives it from Shaw's throw, back to the full-back. A push down the line to Sabitzer, fouled by Longstaff, gave him a shove. And Shaw behind the ball as Jason Tyndall has a conversation with the fourth official, a lot calmer, that chat, than the ones that Michael Salisbury has had with Eric Ten Hag in this first half. Heading to half-time without any goals. Newcastle with some good chances as Manchester United go long, but the half-time whistle is sounded by Stuart Atwell. 0-0 at St James's Park, but John Anderson, a really good game.
Yeah, it's been end-to-end stuff. It's been a stretch game. It hasn't been congested in the middle of the park. We've shaded it, no doubt about that. De Gea's made a great save from the header, but it's still finely balanced. You know, we go in at half-time 0-0. It's still finely balanced. It's still a tough one to call.
You've enjoyed it though, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. It's been good. It's been good. Been very good. It's been an enjoyable game. A few little tackles flying around as well. A little bit of feistiness about it. It's been good.
And the chances Newcastle had finally, I mean, Isak with a header pushed away, then the follow-up was blocked, but the two that were off target from Longstaff, which was a great shot from outside the box, and then Willock
one's been the best one. Got to be hitting the target. You know, he's 8 yards out, coming onto it, just lashes at it. Just a little bit of composure, keep your head down, get it on target, and the ball ends up in the back of the net. But look, it's been good. It's been a good spectacle. It's good to watch.
Hopefully more of the same in the second half with some Newcastle goals. That will be what they're hoping for, and we'll bring you that second 45 live as always here on BBC Radio Newcastle at St James's Park. After the first 45, it's Newcastle United 0, Manchester United 0.
We love it when you get in touch with the show.
Matt Bailey at breakfast.
Debbie in Durham, what have you done?
It's quite a few years ago now, but the place I used to work used to hold a garden produce show, and I actually bought a cauliflower and put it into the show, and it came second.
It came second?
Yes. I paid 55 pence for it, and I won a fiver second prize.
Debbie! Did you own up or not?
Well, what actually made it worse is that some of the judges were going round afterwards, and they saw me and they started asking me all questions about how hard it was to grow cauliflower, and I had to blag me way through it.
The sound of the North East at breakfast. BBC Radio Newcastle, making a difference in the North East.
Goalless then at St James's Park this afternoon in the first half at least. Newcastle United 0, Manchester United 0. We'll be back with Matthew Raisbeck and John Anderson for full coverage of the second half in probably just over 10 minutes' time. It is one of only 2 Premier League games today. The first one was, at time of kick-off at least, second bottom against bottom. But West Ham, who were second bottom, have got themselves out of the relegation zone. They won by 1-0. Naif Aguer with his first goal for the club. West Ham 1, Southampton 0. And it is, of course, ridiculously tight down the bottom of the Premier League table. So West Ham, by winning, go up from 19th to 14th, and there are still only 5 points between the bottom 8 teams in the division. Everton play Spurs tomorrow night. Leicester City, I know Matthew mentioned this in commentary, Leicester sacked Brendan Rodgers this morning after a 5th defeat in 6 Premier League matches. They themselves dropped into the relegation zone after their last-minute defeat, a 94th minute goal from Jean-Philippe Mateta. They lost 2-1 at Crystal Palace yesterday. Elsewhere today, it was the Papa John's Trophy final at Wembley earlier today as well. A crowd of 79,389 saw Bolton thrash Plymouth by 4-0. Kyle Dempsey and Dion Charles scored in the opening 10 minutes. Elias Kachunga made it 3 just after half-time. Gethin Jones made it 4 in the middle of the second half, and the full-time whistle went around about 15-20 minutes ago. So Bolton have beaten Plymouth to the Papa John's Trophy. In the Women's Super League, a terrific strike from Katie McCabe gave Arsenal a 2-1 win over Manchester City. That keeps up their title challenge at the top of the table. Elsewhere, Leicester have moved off the bottom after Carrie Jones scored in the 90th minute to help them beat Reading 2-1. It's a huge result for them. Everton beat Spurs by the same scoreline earlier on today. It is currently goalless between West Ham and Liverpool in a game that kicked off at 5 o'clock, so they're about 20 minutes into that one. The final game in the WSL today is Aston Villa against Chelsea at 6:45. In the Women's Championship, Sunderland were beaten 2-1 at home by Crystal Palace earlier on today, despite Lizzie Yuppie giving them a first-half lead. Durham needed a 93rd minute equaliser from Lauren Briggs to draw 2-2 at Blackburn, although they did actually have what would have been a winner ruled out for a foul after that as well. But a 2-2 draw for Durham at Blackburn. Coventry United have been relegated from that division. They could only draw 1-1 at Lewis this afternoon. And in one game in Scotland's Premiership as well, Celtic scoring in the last minute, in fact the 5th minute of first half injury time and the 5th minute of second half injury time to win 2-0 in the Highlands away at Ross County and restore their 9-point lead over Rangers at the top of that table. Let's rewind then to yesterday's extraordinary events at the International Stadium. Gateshead made it through to the FA Trophy final for the first time in their history. They beat Barnet 4-1 on penalties. That was only half the drama, though. Gateshead were 3-0 up just 5 minutes before half-time, having scored 3, but the spirited fight back from Barnet, which included an equaliser in the 12th minute of second half injury time, took it to spot kicks. James Montgomery in the Gateshead goal saved 2 of the Barnet penalties before player-coach, second goal scorer in normal time and man of the match, Louis Story, scored the penalty that takes the Heat to the National Stadium on Sunday the 21st of May.
Ecstatic. Just, I can't quite put it into words, to be honest with you. Yeah, well, words can't describe the feeling right now. I'm just so proud of the group, of the club, everyone who's obviously pitches in and around it. We know what club it is. It's a supporters. It's a community club, and I'm just over the moon.
Yeah, I mean, we talk a lot about roller coasters and all that sort of stuff, but to be 3-0 up, I mean, 102nd, 103rd minute for an equaliser as well. How do you then lift yourself for a penalty shootout?
I think it's just a reset. It's all about a reset, and so the game's gone. There's nothing we can do about that when it comes to penalties, but like kind of reinforcing the boys that we've been there before, and we know, just the kind of cold approach that we need to have. Once emotion comes into it, it's just a distraction and it just becomes, a grey area. And to be fair, the lads would just look so composed throughout the penalty shootout. It was ridiculous, and credit to them. We talk about that loads, about not listening to the noise, in games and scenarios, and that was just an unbelievable representation of, the mentality that we try to have and try and block out the noise and just have that kind of fire in my belly, but ice in my veins. So yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, you're one of the few, possibly the only one who's lifted a trophy at Wembley already. So what can you then talk about in the next 6-7 weeks to get the whole squad ready?
Well, the feeling, I think, I was half tempted to mention to the group before the game, but I thought, don't want to go too emotional override, but there's not a feeling that can can be described when you look up and you see loved ones there, and you see the guys that spend their own time dedicated to the football club, and there's a smile there that you can never repay, and to see that is the feeling which is just incredible. And to get there is we've won to get there, and obviously to do a little bit more is even better. As I've luckily experienced with Hebben, but I'm obviously at a new football club. I've got to know more people. I've got a new bond with a new football club, and I'll be determined more than ever to have the same success and the same experiences for them guys, for the community, for everyone that's associated with the club.
Yeah, every single Gateshead fan looking forward to it. That was Louis Story chatting to me yesterday after their victory over Barnet. And in that Wembley final on the 21st of May, Gateshead will play Halifax, who won a penalty shootout of their own, actually, in the other semi-final against Altrincham. And it was also almost a mirror image. Halifax scored in the final minute of the game just to take it to penalties, but they then won that shootout. So Gateshead against Halifax on the 21st of May at Wembley. Elsewhere, non-league-wise, yesterday, Blyth Spartans failed to capitalise on playing against 10 men for more than an hour. They drew 0-0 away to Banbury in National League North, but it's 4 points from 2 away games in a week, so actually it's not too bad for Blyth. In the NPL Premier Division, South Shields title celebration still on ice. A 2-1 defeat away to Bamber Bridge yesterday afternoon. They are still 9 points clear, though, at the top of the table with just 4 games to go. Morpeth failed to ease their own relegation worries in the same division with a 1-0 defeat at home to FC United of Manchester. In the NPL East Division, Hebburn suffered a third defeat in a row. This time it was a 4-1 defeat away at Worksop Town, who've already won the league, so in and of itself it's not a great surprise, but 3 defeats in a row is not doing them any good. North Shields lost 2-1 at home to Bridlington. That's pretty much their playoff hopes gone, but there was a good 3-0 victory for Consett over Sheffield FC. And way back on Friday night, Sunderland drew 0-0 at the Championship leaders Burnley, although results yesterday have put them back into 12th place in the table again. Here is the Black Cats head coach Tony Mowbray.
I thought the work ethic was amazing. I think we were a bit disappointed in there that we couldn't take one of the opportunities that came along, off the crossbar, looking over the goalie, the offside goal and Clark. But yeah, listen, a brilliant concentration game, brilliant work ethic game. Yeah, as I said before the game, just asked them to challenge themselves tonight. You're playing against the best team in the league, away from home. It's down to you. Go and see how good you are. See if you can compete at this level, because they'll be in the Premier League next year. And here you go. And I keep reminding them how well they did against Fulham over 2 games. And so yeah, I thought they competed really well tonight. And Pierre getting his first start, it's an amazing game for him to get started. He had to grow into the game. I think he's played 23s football all his life, and he has to get used to men's football, how fast it is and how physical it is. And but he'll get there, as the other young lads who came on will get there as well.
That Tony Mowbray there speaking after the 0-0 draw at Burnley on Friday night. A few surprise results in the Championship yesterday that sort of helped Sunderland out a little bit. West Brom drawing 0-0 at home to Millwall. Coventry beaten 4-0 at home by Stoke City has done Sunderland a little bit of a favour. Watford losing at Luton as well. But I have to mention, unfortunately, Middlesbrough losing 4-2 away at Huddersfield, who haven't quite got themselves out of the relegation zone, Huddersfield, but that very much a surprise given the form that Middlesbrough are in. So Sunderland 12th in the table on 54 points, 7 points behind Blackburn, who are in the final playoff place in 6th, but it is very congested between the two as well. Sunderland just 1 point behind Watford, 2 behind Preston and West Brom, and 3 behind Coventry and Norwich. You can have your say on all the weekend's football action on tomorrow night's Total Sport. Simon Pride will be back with Marco and Ando from 6 o'clock. Elsewhere locally then across the weekend, in Rugby League, it was the 4th round of the Challenge Cup yesterday, and Newcastle Thunder made it through, 22-12 winners away at Rochdale Mayfield. So Thunder will face York City Knights, a fellow Championship side, away from home in the 5th round in about 3 weeks' time. It is the round after that, the 6th round, that the Super League sides join the competition. Lots of basketball action across the weekend as well. Newcastle Eagles men, first of all, playing twice. They were beaten 91-72 at home by Cheshire Phoenix on Friday night, but they've made up for that to an extent by winning by a single point away at Surrey Scorchers this afternoon. Kyle Johnson top scoring with 26. 79-78 was the final score. In the WBBL then, Durham Palatinate losing by just a couple of points at home to Sheffield Hatters yesterday. Horrible second quarter for them. They only scored 8 points in the quarter, and that meant a 2-point defeat ultimately. Newcastle Eagles losing 75-59 away at Leicester Riders yesterday. That less of a surprise. Today, the two sides are facing each other, and Newcastle Eagles, with just a couple of minutes remaining in that one, now leading by 2 points. They had been behind for a while, but 64-62 to Newcastle Eagles against Durham Palatinate in the WBBL. In Ice Hockey's North Division 1 playoff quarter-finals, it's over 2 legs. Whitley Warriors 6-2 winners away at D-Side Dragons in the first leg yesterday. They faced off at 5 o'clock today, so they are obviously only part way through that one, and it is 2-1 already to Whitley Warriors, so they're 8-3 up on aggregate, but still in the first quarter there. And in Speedway's Knockout Cup as well, lots of, a couple of postponements, but Berwick are at Redcar Bears at 5 o'clock today, so they've got underway. That one rescheduled from Friday night. The match at Shieldfield, which in theory should have been the second leg, was postponed yesterday. Just time to tell you as well that on the other side of the world, Max Verstappen won a chaotic Australian Grand Prix that finished under a safety car. There were 3 different red flags, but Max Verstappen the winner, Lewis Hamilton second, Aston Martin's Fernando Alonso completing the podium in third. In the Women's Six Nations Rugby, England made it 2 wins from 2 at the start of the competition. An emphatic 12 try, 68 points to 5 victory over Italy. Abby Dow scoring 4 tries, Jess Breach scoring 3. And Exeter Chiefs beat Montpellier on try count back to progress to the quarterfinals of the European Champions Cup. It was a remarkable 33-all draw after extra time, but Exeter had scored 5 tries to the French side's 4, so they go through. Right then, it is time for us to return to St James's Park. Newcastle United 0, Manchester United 0 at half-time. Full commentary of the second half coming up with Matthew Raisbeck and John Anderson right now.
Matthew Raisbeck and black and white legend John Anderson.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Thanks very much, Colin. Here come Newcastle for the second half. Kieran Trippier and Dan Burn, the first players, back out onto the pitch, followed by the rest of their colleagues, just making sure there are no changes. And it is the same 11. Nick Pope, Kieran Trippier, Fabian Schär, Sven Botman, Dan Burn, Bruno Guimaraes, Sean Longstaff, Joe Willock, Jacob Murphy, Alan Saint-Maximin and Alexander Isak. So many good performances in the first half. Plenty of good opportunities to score, but still 0-0. The referee is Stuart Atwell, and Manchester United, David De Gea in goal, Diogo Dalot, Rafael Varane, Lisandro Martinez and Luke Shaw, Marcel Sabitzer and Scott McTominay in the middle, Anthony, Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford, Wout Weghorst up front. Newcastle's bench: Dubravka, Lascelles, Joelinton, Gordon, Wilson, Ritchie, Targett, Manquillo, Anderson. Manchester United, 2 goalkeepers, Bishop and Butland, Lindelof, Maguire, Martial, Malacia, Fred, Sancho, Pellistri. And the second half has started here on BBC Radio Newcastle and NUFC TV, and we hope it's as entertaining as the first, but if Newcastle can find a way through and win the game, we'd take a boring 45 minutes plus.
I don't think it'll be that. I mean, the first 45 minutes flew over. It was good stuff. A lot of good battles going on.
Newcastle with some throw-ins down the left-hand side, and they're into an attacking position here. A lot of late arrivals for the second half. Byrne throws it to Isak, who's outside the area, and Saint-Maximin trying to break into the box, tripped. Challenge came in very close to the line, but no suggestion that it was in the box. I think he may have fallen into the 18-yard area. Diogo Dalot with hands all over Saint-Maximin, and then a leg across and a clear foul. Stuart Atwell, the referee, with another straightforward decision to make. And what about this then, John Anderson? Kieran Trippier, wide of the penalty area on the left. Isak goes across and has a word with him. Two Manchester United players, Sabitzer and Anthony, in the wall. Could he shoot from here?
Could. Whether he will or not.
Free kick for the foul on Sam Maxima. 0-0 in the 47th minute. Trippier behind the ball. He has gone for it, and Cher has been hit by the ball, and there could be some concern about a head injury.
No, he went for the header, he's headed it.
Run straight across, and they're waving on the Newcastle medical staff. Fabian Cher is flat on his back, he's moving, and players are around him. They're just getting medical attention on quickly. Jamal Lascelles and Matt Targett sent along the touchline to warm up. Trippier whipped it in. It was towards the near post area, which is where Cher found himself. I said it hit him. You think he went for the header? We'd need to see it again, but he's taken a blow from the ball either way.
Yeah, a lot of pace on it. Just looked like he just threw himself at the ball, got it wrong. They haven't shown it again.
He had received a blow to the head at Wembley, didn't he? And had treatment and came back on and played. Newcastle could turn to their captain if they need to, or they could move Dan Burn in and bring Matt Targett on. Cher is lifted to his feet. That gets a pat on the back from Bruno Fernandes, who is just checking on him. So we have break in play on BBC Radio Newcastle, 49th minute, 0-0. Newcastle in black and white, that's the red of Manchester United. They are kicking towards the Gallagher end, so as we look at the action, that's from left to right, it's down the hill. Cher is jogging over to the near side with the doctor. And Eddie Howe is involved in the conversation. I think he's going to come back on.
Yeah, it's all right.
Martinez, as Manchester United play on from the back, coming up to halfway. Murphy in front of him, passes it forwards, a sliding Bruno Fernandes guides it out to Shaw. Rashford outside the area, back towards Bruno Fernandes, heavy touch, and he's carried it behind, took it around Trippier, too much on the ball. Goal kick.
Yeah, it's just nicked it around Trippier, but got too much on it. Ball's gone out, goal kick.
They head up the pitch, Newcastle. Martial and Sancho warming up for Manchester United. Pope through the middle. Isak rises with McTominay, wins the knock on. Martinez away, Longstaff heads forwards. It's too close to Shaw. And he turns and plays it back to the goalkeeper with Isak putting the pressure on. Out to Dalot, closed down by Sam Maxima, and away from danger from the full-back. Sabitzer, what a touch on the far side to control the long pass up the pitch. McTominay in front of halfway. To the centre-half Martinez. He's 5'9", he looks a lot smaller, Martinez. On the big side, Manchester United. This is Dalot. Back to Martinez in the Newcastle half, cut out by Willock for Longstaff to Bruno, and Sam Maxima on the move to the left. Bruno away from Sabitzer, and now in the final third, Newcastle. Sam Maxima taking on two into the box, back to Bruno. Longstaff inside, he's gone across to Willock instead. Willock, that's behind Bruno, and it's come to Byrne. Down the line for Saint-Maximin. Dalot at his back, and he's spun and twisted and held onto possession of the ball, and then beaten Dalot and through towards Byrne, but cut out by a red shirt. I think it was Anthony. Manchester United could get it clear. They have to use their goalkeeper and De Gea away. Header from Botman in front of Weghorst. That's gone out.
A little bit of a quieter start to the second half. First half starting at a frantic pace. Both sides.
Martinez got away from Isak. Played the ball square across to Shaw. Rashford straight against Trippier in Manchester United's half. Bruno Guimaraes slows it down, turns all the way around, and then picks out his pass. It's Longstaff on the near side, down the line to Murphy. Bruno making the run. It's gone out off Shaw. And Eddie Howe lobs the ball to Trippier. He's going to take the throw. 53 minutes, 0-0. Wanting runners, wanting movement. Isak's giving him an option. And Trippier needs something. All the routes are closed off. The referee was about to blow the whistle. Trippier released it and went back to Cher, and it's with Nick Pope, left foot to control and then pass back out to Cher on the right. Clipped up to Murphy. Martinez at his back, on the chest from Murphy. It's Bruno Guimaraes who's fouled by Sabitzer. Referee says play on because Murphy's got it. And nice feet, good skill. Then the pass to the left to Willock, and Saint-Maximin takes over. 3 defenders to beat. Pulls the cross back, and it's headed behind. McTominay near to his goal post. Has pushed it behind for a Newcastle corner. For a split second I thought that was going to end up as an own goal, but Saint-Maximin, good play.
Goalkeeper's ball if he shouts.
His run and cross has led to this corner. Jacob Murphy's going to take it. Trippier's hanging back by halfway. And Newcastle send Callum Wilson out to warm up. And Murphy with the corner kick at the Gallagher end. It's back down the line to Bruno. It's inside to Willock. Trippier's free in the middle. Trippier with a touch and a ball back through towards Murphy, but they can't make anything of it.
Too complicated. It was over-complicated. He should have hit it, Trippier.
I think the ball inside to him was maybe didn't have enough on it, did it?
It's coming on to that, look.
So they went back down the line with a couple of passes, and then Trippier aiming it towards Murphy in the box, but goal kick. Manchester United have taken it. Burns got it back. Saint-Maximin looking to head towards goal, and he's into the area. It's great feet, and Bruno just loses out on the edge of the area from the ball inside, and McTominay carries Manchester United up the pitch. No goals on BBC Radio Newcastle. Willock intercepts, gets it back to Botman, plays it to Willock on the outside and into Cher, and Trippier's making a move forwards over halfway. Cher has slowed it down, put his foot on the ball, square to the left to Botman.
Good ball.
Moves it up to Willock, and they've got room and they've got runners, Newcastle, but it's headed away by Varane and Willock. Oh, how many headers is that in a row? 5 or 6. Manchester United regain possession on the far side, though. Dalot flicks it through his legs and comes infield, and then the pass to Shaw, and he's got room, and Rashford bending his run in from the touchline. Ball was slightly behind Rashford, but he's got it just on this side of the area. Back to Shaw, side to Bruno Fernandes, who switches it to Anthony, closed down by Byrne. Anthony on his left, right-hand side. Comfortable for Pope.
Yeah. Back pass again.
Botman closed down by Weghorst, gets away. And Murphy's got a man on, Martinez. He's done very well, Murphy. That's brilliant. And Saint-Maximin up ahead.
Should have given it to
Murphy has released it to Saint-Maximin this time. And he's been tackled by Martinez, but that's a Newcastle throw 25 yards out. Just wanted Murphy after some great play.
Should have just knocked it in the space because he would have had the legs of Darlow.
Byrne with the throw. Isak's come deep to get it. Lovely control, and then a couple of turns, and he plays it back to Cher. It's opened up for Fabian Cher. He could hit it. He does, and it's gone wide of the near side of De Gea's goal. And the Manchester United keeper asks his outfield players why they didn't close down.
Yeah, I mean, he's come a long way with it. They've backed off. It's always gone away from goal, but
Newcastle fans not happy about the length of time De Gea is taking over his goal kicks. It's too high for Rashford and Trippier, and Weghorst hit the advertising board as he went to keep it in. Black and white ball, and with Botman, Byrne takes it with the outside of his left boot, drags it back. Saint-Maximin, he's been tackled with two on him. Weghorst carrying it. Saint-Maximin gets back with a sliding challenge, and Newcastle regain possession. Fair play to him for recovering, but then they lose it from a ball forwards. Newcastle, it's Anthony to Dalot, but it's a pass that's gone backwards towards halfway. 0-0, and we're approaching the hour mark. Bruno Fernandes on the right, lifting it into an area for McTominay to run and get after towards the corner. Newcastle have put it behind for a corner kick. Shaw is going to be the player. It's going from the near side to the far right side. Anthony Gordon is warming up now as well for Newcastle, who have everybody in the box defending the corner. Manchester United have left three outside the area. One of them is Sabitzer, who has a touch and puts the cross in, and it's in the hands of Pope off a black and white shirt. Some Manchester United appeals maybe for handball, but we're playing again, and Pope's thrown it out underarm to Isak. Crosses halfway, and Saint-Maximin now takes over. Back through for Isak, but too much on the ball.
Right idea.
Picks it up.
Right idea.
Thrown out to Bruno Fernandes, just dropped into a pocket of space, in a deep position. Bruno Fernandes has got it again, but Murphy's pressure makes him play it backwards. Martinez to Fernandes, who's in the left-back spot at the moment. Then Martinez with a big switch to Anthony, who's trying to get around Byrne, who makes the challenge. It's a throw.
What a ball that was.
Such accuracy on the pass. Dalot now, couple of step overs, heads for the goal line, turns back and given away. It's Byrne who's intercepted it, and Saint-Maximin on for Dan Byrne, who's leading the charge. Isak through the middle. Byrne with Saint-Maximin on the outside. He's been tackled by McTominay. Made good progress, but now they've got to get back, Newcastle. It's Anthony. And there's 5 red shirts in the attack. Sabitzer back to Anthony. Byrne's in position again. Weghorst in the middle. McTominay outside the box. Bruno Fernandes around Murphy, and straight to Longstaff, who finds Murphy, but he can't hold it. He's given it straight back to Manchester United. 0-0, and 2 changes about to be made. Bruno Fernandes. Sabitzer loses it on the edge of the box, and Willock across to Trippier in space. Anthony Gordon's going to come on, and maybe Callum Wilson. Trippier and Longstaff, they need to get it away, Newcastle. Rashford with a foul on Longstaff on the near side. And Jadon Sancho and Anthony Martial are coming on for Manchester United. Callum Wilson and Anthony Gordon are going to be brought on by Eddie Howe. Anthony, the first player off. And no surprise to see Wout Weghorst depart with fit again Anthony Martial. Been out for a while with injury, missed the cup final. His replacement. 0-0 on BBC Radio Newcastle, 62 minutes. Newcastle preparing their substitutions, and Joe Linton's going to be a third player coming on.
Substitution for Manchester United, coming off from the 27, Wout Weghorst.
How do you see the game at the moment, Ando?
Still finely,
changes come
yes, still finely balanced. Obviously the pace, the tempo of the game has dropped, as you would expect. Difficult to keep that tempo up for 90 minutes. But you think one goal might win it.
And they've had the share effort that went wide from distance in the second half, but their big chances, Newcastle, were in the first half, but still been some decent attacking play. Trippier with this free kick down the line, the right. It could bend out, but Martinez has kept it in, and then it's gone out of his clearance. And it's Newcastle's ball, 25 yards from the goal. The three substitutes are still waiting. Eddie Howe's got his arm around Anthony Gordon. He's missed the last couple of games with an ankle injury. Trippier with the throw, looking for an option again, not really finding one. Bruno's made a good run into the corner, and they get another throw in, Newcastle, right next to the flag. Isak stands with hands on hips in the box. Trippier throws it to Murphy, stopped by Bruno Fernandes, gone behind, it's a goal kick.
Would like to take this opportunity.
Newcastle. Eddie Howe just been asked by the fourth official, does he want the changes now?
Today is 52,268.
Don't think they're going to do them just yet. Are they going to let Manchester United carry on? They are.
He doesn't want to do them yet.
64 minutes. Goal kick taken quickly. De Gea. Isak on top of him in the box, and then Isak with a challenge on Varane in the corner, and that's a Newcastle throw. The pressure from Isak, who then gets a big reaction from the crowd as Byrne picks up the ball and takes the throw to Willock, back to Byrne, and here's Saint-Maximin. This could open up for Newcastle, but it's blocked at the edge of the box. Then one back, McTominay dispossessed. Willock and Saint-Maximin edge of the area. Saint-Maximin with good feet, and the challenge comes in. It's a fair one. Botman, brilliant tackle on Martial. Longstaff out to Murphy, right wing. Trippier on the overlap. Murphy cuts inside and still carries it. And looks for Isak at the edge of the box. He's brought it down, plays it through. Bruno Guimaraes chips it to the far post. Saint-Maximin. Oh! Goal! Joe Willock has scored the goal. A brilliant Newcastle move. Oh, and what scenes at St James's Park as they run to the corner to celebrate. They're all off the bench. The subs are running down the touchline to join in. Brilliant. A move involving so many of the players. And then Bruno rolled in by Isak at the edge of the box, chipping it to the far post. Saint-Maximin back across, and Joe Willock, who missed a glorious chance in the first half, this time made no mistake, this time hit the net, and it's Newcastle United 1, Manchester United 0.
Oh, it's a great little move, great play. Bruno just hangs up the dream ball back post. Great header back Saint-Maximin, and he can't miss 2 yards out. But it's a great ball, Bruno back post. But Saint-Maximin, fabulous header, can't miss.
Saint-Maximin did.
What's he do with the substitutions now?
They've all gone to warm up, the three with yellow bibs on. Saint-Maximin did absolutely the right thing in that situation, and Willock was free in the middle, and simple task of heading it back in as Manchester United play it to De Gea under pressure from Isak on the goal line almost. Gets it away. Just listen to this noise. It's deafening. But this passage of play, Ando, Newcastle, Manchester United were playing it out from the back, and then Isak put the pressure on, charged in on Varane. They got a throw, and you take it back that far, and it sort of kept them on the offensive, didn't it?
It did.
Trippier intercepted ball out to the left wing towards Rashford, gets it back to the goalkeeper. They're going to bring on Anthony Gordon and Joe Linton, but not yet Callum Wilson. Poor Callum Wilson. Trippier fouled by Rashford just behind halfway. 1-0, and remember, they'll go above Manchester United, leapfrogging Spurs in the process, and into third if they win. Saint-Maximin, last involvement of any meaning is to set up the goal. It's been good today.
Yeah, his decision making's been so much better today. His work rate, everything about him's been better. Murphy.
And maybe, no surprise, another straight swap, Jacob Murphy. Who's had his moments as well, and warranting his place in the side after a good run recently. Standing ovation for the pair. Murphy enjoying himself. It's Gordon. A big pat as he comes on. Big hug for Murphy as well from Graham Jones, the Newcastle coach, in front of the bench. And Trippier with a free kick, which is going to be taken from inside Manchester United's half. And they've got Cher up there, he rises, it's come down towards Isak. Free kick's gone the way of Manchester United. Sabitzer was one of two players down. I think he got caught by Isak. So it's 1-0, 69th minute. And there's been a lot to like about this today, hasn't there? But it's not over yet.
No, look, it's just been a good game of football. You know, both sides having a go at it. It's been a real good game.
De Gea forwards to Martinez, Shaw in Newcastle's half, onto Rashford, back to Shaw. It's lovely football. Bruno Fernandes towards Sancho. Didn't really fancy it with Cher, who got there first. Kept in by Gordon. Well played. Really well played. Longstaff, back out to Trippier. Felt he was fouled, Sean Longstaff, but the pass went out of play, and it's a Manchester United throw only. It's BBC Radio Newcastle. Thanks for choosing to follow the match with us today. 1-0 up. Huge fixture. 11 to play after today. Longstaff with a sliding challenge. More tireless and committed midfield work, and then Gordon wins a throw. Trippier goes square to Longstaff on his chest, back to the right back, and it's out for a throw. Close to the Manchester United bench, behind halfway. It's Bruno this time, makes the run, back to Trippier, chipped forwards, Martinez header away, Trippier plants a big header on it to go forwards. Martinez with another header, Longstaff onto Gordon, couldn't get it through to Isak, almost slipped it beyond a defender, but now at the other end, Sabitzer with a ball to stretch Newcastle's defence, and Martial out towards the corner on the left. Back to Sancho, taking it around Cher, who slipped, and Trippier plays it off Sancho, and that's Newcastle's ball. It's a throw rather than goal kick, but they've got the better of Manchester United at the end of that move as well.
Yeah, Sancho, he should have just stood there, because all Trippier was going to do was put it in Rowe's head, and he decided to get in the way.
Bruno back to Trippier. Isak has slipped, and Martinez takes it on his chest and turns. And they've kept possession, Manchester United on the left, slightly inside Newcastle's half. Bruno Fernandes challenged by Bruno Guimaraes, and Isak's got it, and they could be away. Joelinton to the left, Isak back to Bruno in the area, and hacked clear. Bruno's got it, taking on Shaw on the right wing, Gordon with him. Oh, what feet from Bruno, and he's lost it. And Sancho inside to Sabitzer. Long ball forwards, Martial heading it down to Sancho. Rashford's on the far side. He lets it go, and it's Dalot who controls on the 18-yard line. Sabitzer in the area, what a block from Botman. Vital block, and Nick Pope has the ball in 2 hands.
Yeah, good defending. Just threw his body in the way.
Clear skies up above, sun is still shining, but the lights have come on at St James's, and into the final 18 minutes we go with Newcastle 1-0 up. Botman to Joelinton, out to Byrne, and this one to test the legs of McTominay. Willock was on his shoulder. The Scottish international gets it back to De Gea. Varane back to his goalkeeper. And that earlier break with Bruno stealing the ball back.
Yeah, Fernandes just wanted too much time on it.
Just couldn't make it count, Newcastle, but it was sharp play from Bruno Guimaraes. Gordon's won it now from Sancho's pass, and he's looking for Isak, but Martinez is there. Maybe Gordon would have been better served taking it on himself.
Sancho's been awful since he came on. Just keeps giving it away. Keep doing it.
Gordon has then won a tackle and put the ball out for a throw. BBC Radio Newcastle. Join us for Total Sport tomorrow at 6 with all the reaction to this and the chance to have your say until 8. The North East Only football phone in 2 hours, Monday to Friday. Newcastle won the ball in the air from the Manchester United throw, but they have it back, and McTominay, it's good run down the right side. It's really good play, in fact, and it's headed behind by Botman. More excellent defending from the Dutchman, conceding a corner. McTominay, what a run.
Oh, strong, wasn't he? Quick.
And a whipped ball in towards the near post. Rashford in the centre, but Botman dealt with it. And here's the corner. Luke Shaw to take. Callum Wilson's ready. And later than Bill, he will surely be coming on. Martial stands in the 6-yard box. There's a defender between him and Nick Pope. It's Bruno Guimaraes who's there. Referee taking a good look at all the movement in the middle as Shaw loops in the corner. It's too long for everyone, and Sancho keeps it alive on the near side. Back to Bruno Fernandes, floated in, Joelinton there, and headed into the hands of Pope by Varane. Just got the better of Joelinton at the back of the penalty area, and an overarm throw out by Pope to Trippier. They're going to go quickly here, Newcastle. Gordon trying to get in behind and away from Bruno Fernandes, and he has, but he's all alone, Anthony Gordon, into the penalty area. Gordon rolls it across. Oh, it's a really good ball, and Isak couldn't quite get a piece of it, but it's been turned behind for a corner. There was very little on, but he almost created something out of nothing, Anthony Gordon.
Oh, he did ever so well, because he's all on his own. He's got to hold it, he's got to wait. He just rolls it. Oh, it's a great little ball.
Newcastle United 1, Manchester United 0. 76th minute. Wilson waits to come on. This corner's going to be played first. It's Trippier to deliver. Longstaff staying back. Trippier dropping it under the crossbar. Joelinton! It's hit the woodwork. Schär blocked. They're claiming handball. Play on, says the referee, and Manchester United on the counter-attack. Schär is down. Half on the pitch, half off the pitch. Gordon with a challenge, but danger at the other end. They're still going. It's Shaw who crosses it. Trippier with a header, and Willock. Newcastle need to put it out. Gordon, is he going to carry it? He's going to play Gordon. Holds it up. They're telling him to stop and put it out, and now the whistle goes. Wow. Trippier just dropped the ball in under the bar, and Joe Linton at the back post, and before the corner came in, the defender and Joe Linton were all over each other. Have a look at this again, Ando. There he is with Sabitzer. It's touched onto the bar, is it, by the keeper?
Great save, isn't it?
And then Cher off the post. Or was it Martial?
Oh, what a save that is.
De Gea tipping the header onto the bar, and then Cher off the post.
No, Martial.
Was it Martial? You hit it? Well, Fabian Scher's receiving treatment in the meantime. And Newcastle and Manchester United players come over to the touchline for a drink. It's another knock to the head for Fabian Scher. They will only let him continue if it's safe. But
I was going to say, does concussion rules not come in?
Yeah, they've had. I mean, Cher missed the Manchester City match last month with concussion. Isak's had a spell out earlier this year with concussion. So Newcastle do follow the rules in that sense, but it's another blow from Fabian Cher. And Lascelles is looking back at the bench, warming up along the touchline, but Cher's on his feet, coming over to the side of the field with the doctor and the physio. It's Newcastle who lead 1-0 on BBC Radio Newcastle. Could be 2, it was almost 2, but for a De Gea brilliant save.
Oh, great save from the original header. Slightest touch pushes it up onto the crossbar.
So much action and chaos in the box from that corner. It's a brilliant ball in as well from Trippier. The referee drops the ball at the feet of Kieran Trippier. It's a second attempt because Marcus Rashford hadn't given Newcastle enough space to play. Oh, and Pope with a heavy touch from a back pass, and he's got rid just, and Burn heads on, and Willock, and it's a 3-on-3. Willock down the left, Gordon and Isak in the middle. Joe Willock goes for the bottom corner, but he's pulled it wide.
Long way wide.
Callum Wilson coming on now for Alexander Isak, who has given us so much to enjoy once again.
Yeah, he's put a shift in again today. Hasn't been as electric as he in his previous games, but he's worked hard up there. His movement yet again has been excellent.
It's a pat on the head from Trippier on his way off. Another standing ovation. Let's hope the rest over the international break has given Wilson what he needs to get back to his brilliant best. Manchester United, short first-time passes out from the back, then Bruno Fernandes up to Martial. Cher's come a long way with him, and it's laid off. And Bruno Fernandes now to Lisandro Martinez. The space on that far side of the pitch. Dalot and Sancho with some tidy footwork, and back to Dalot near to the corner of Newcastle's box. It's the 80th minute and they lead 1-0. Bruno Fernandes, it's kept in by Dalot and then put out for a Newcastle throw. To the pleasure of the fans in the front seats in the East Stand. Burn is taking it from the wrong place, or attempting to, and you can't do that. Joelinton flicking it on with a header, but Manchester United have won it back, then away by Newcastle. Longstaff and Willock around Bruno Fernandes, and away almost from Dalot. Last gasp defending by the Manchester United fullback. They're soon going to bring on Fred as Sabitzer plays it forward. Cher clears. Chipped into the box by Bruno Fernandes. Martial's brought it down, deflected and wide.
Whoa.
It went wide, but it was very close to catching out Nick Pope.
He was rooted, wasn't he?
Newcastle are checking on Joe Willock. He's sitting down now. He's got a problem, and Jason Tyndall, the assistant manager, was asking Willock whether he needed to be replaced. Elliot Anderson is coming back to the bench, taking off his bib.
He's feeling his left hamstring. It's going to be a bit of added on time here, you know.
Fred comes on from Scott McTominay. Victor Lindelof, Isak's Swedish international teammate. They played together a couple of times during the break. He's going to come on. He's a defender. And Facundo Pellistri is also about to be introduced. And Elliot Anderson will come on for Newcastle. So Fred for McTominay.
Manchester United coming off at 39.
Pellistri is replacing Lisandro Martinez, the centre half, as per the numbers board. And the last change is Lindelof, and he
also for Manchester United
introduced for
Lisandro Martinez, replaced by number 28 Facundo Pellistri.
They've got Brentford on Wednesday, and then Everton, and then a Europa League quarter-final.
So he's taken off his main two centre-backs.
Manchester United. He switched the two centre-halves.
Interesting one.
And Willock will play no further part in the match. He could be the match winner with his goal. But limping. And you suspected left hamstring, didn't you?
He was holding it.
He applauds the supporters as he heads off, and Elliot Anderson, he was fantastic at Forest, comes on in the 84th minute against Manchester United with Newcastle 1-0 up. But as John Anderson said a few moments ago, probably a lot of time to be added on to the game, and it's a corner for the visitors at the Leazes end. It's Shaw with a whipped ball in and over the top from Lindelof. First touch for the defender, and they seem to be lining up with Dalot to the right, Lindelof in the middle, and Shaw to the left. That's their back three. And the referee's just told Nick Pope not to waste any time.
He kicked the ball away,
did he? Yeah. And he's been told by Newcastle players and fans that David De Gea has been in no hurry all afternoon, and Jason Tyndall's getting involved with Manchester United coaching staff now. Pope with a clearance from the goal kick, which didn't quite go where he wanted it. Byrne heads it away. Manchester United win it back. Anthony Gordon battling away for it, finds Trippier inside to Bruno Guimaraes on halfway. Joelinton pushes it over to Elliot Anderson, his first involvement since coming on. Turns it out wide left to Byrne. Joelinton back to Anderson, 35 yards from goal now, Newcastle. Bruno back towards Byrne and Anderson. Bruno with a really good challenge, and Dalot in the corner tries to clear it. It's come to Newcastle. Bruno to Longstaff, back to Bruno, who might get away, and Gordon with a header looking for Wilson in the middle. It's come out to the near right hand side. Trippier gets there before Sancho wanted it more, and through for Gordon, who's got options in the middle, and he's won a corner.
Sancho's been absolutely shocking since he's come on. I mean, that's his ball all day, and he just didn't want it.
Didn't fancy the challenge one bit.
Not one little bit.
Not for me. No. Got out the way. Kieran Trippier's not going to hold back, is he? If his corner that he's about to take is as good as the last one, Newcastle could be in business again. Leading 1-0. It's towards the back of the box. Joelinton there again. He's got it on the floor. Anderson twisting, turning, digs out a cross. Dan Burn rises and it skims the top of his head and goes behind.
Good little ball, dinked in back post. Anderson just got it out of his feet nice and early. Just couldn't grow. Mind you, he doesn't want to grow much more, does he?
David De Gea took that goal kick quickly. Sancho's given it away. Wilson back to goal, trying to turn. He's found it through for Longstaff in the corner on this near side. Longstaff, that's a foul. It's a clear foul right under the nose of the assistant referee, Luke Shaw, the guilty party, and the whistle's gone. And Newcastle have got the ball in exactly where they would want it. It's Bruno. It's a drink from a water bottle. And the clock ticks towards 87 minutes. And he might be about to put this into the box, Kieran Trippier. It's very close to the corner quadrant, a couple of yards back, yard in from the touchline. Lots of black and white to hit. Trippier, good ball. Yes! Callum Wilson has scored, and it's the goal that we've all been waiting for, that he's been waiting for, and Wilson is back. No mistake with a header from Trippier's whipped free kick. And Wilson finds the net for only the second time since coming back from the World Cup. He needed that, and he might just have given Newcastle a monumental victory. It's Newcastle United 2, Manchester United 0.
It's a wonderful ball. It's an absolutely fabulous ball. Just somebody go and attack it, and Wilson's got himself in there, in between defenders. It's a great header. Great header.
In off the post, the base of the post, and Callum Wilson deserves that moment. He'll savour the moment. He has his 8th of the season, and Isak has been getting all the headlines and the plaudits quite rightly, but Wilson on for the record signing, doing what he does best and what he's done throughout his 3 years on Tyneside. Quality is permanent, and Wilson, the top striker, has made it 2-0, and Manchester United in the mud, and Newcastle looking for a third with Wilson and Anderson at the edge of the area, but it's won back, and Joe Linton snaps into a challenge. Pelistri, another one who didn't fancy the physical stuff. And Gordon to Bruno, round the corner, and Wilson back through for Bruno Guimaraes, but it's scrambled behind by Dalot for a corner. Manchester United are staring at a big defeat, and Newcastle have got their eyes on 3rd place in the Premier League. The final minute of the 90, a corner kick and a 2-0 advantage.
Giving themselves that little bit of breathing space. That second goal, no more than it's deserved either. They've been by far the better side in the second half. It's all about just putting chances away.
Trippier's corner, Botman goes for it. Burns sticks out a big leg, couldn't get there. Fred on the counter-attack. Gordon has been absolutely fantastic since coming on, with his committed work and recoveries. How many times has he got back and won the ball for Newcastle? Intercepted. They're stopping a counter-attack. It's going to be a throw near halfway for Manchester United, taken from the wrong place. And 5 minutes have been added, a minimum of 5 minutes. Those away fans, they're not singing about Alan Shearer anymore. They're leaving. It's 2-0 to Newcastle. Longstaff closes down Fred, up to Martial on halfway. It's a bang from behind from Cher, free kick. Trippier tries to intercept. Sancho has managed to help it on to Rashford. This could be risky. Rashford, it's a back pass, basically.
It wasn't a shot. He tried to pick somebody out. He just tried to roll somebody in, but it's been quiet. He's been really quiet today.
Pope drops the ball on the floor outside the penalty area. Wilson backing into Lindelof, who's won the header. And it's come to Dalot, their makeshift three-man defence with two full-backs. He's trying to deal with Callum Wilson when Newcastle get the ball forwards. This is a Manchester United attack though. Martial, Rashford in the area, Share with it. Up to Wilson, laid off to Longstaff, and he's got a free kick. Lindelof caught him, runs away shaking his head. I said to you in the first half, earlier in the second half, Ando, so much to enjoy just about the game, because we'd enjoyed the match. The first half was
it's been
excellent.
A great game.
It has been a really good game.
Yeah, it's been a great game.
It always helps when Newcastle are winning and playing well, but it's been a high intensity match and really good to watch. Anderson challenging with Lindelof, free kick for Manchester United, left side of defence. We're in additional time. Newcastle will be third in the Premier League after this. Spurs play tomorrow night at Everton. They were fourth at the start of the weekend. Joelinton beats Bruno Fernandes to the ball. It's going to be an 8th home win of the season in the Premier League. Only one defeat by Liverpool. Manchester United back to De Gea. Fred. Joelinton slides. Did he touch it? I don't think he did. The assistant referee wasn't sure, but they've given the throw Manchester United. And then Newcastle win it back, and it's Elliot Anderson on the run. Stopped by Dalot. Share intercepts. Oh, there's loads of room for Share to run into. Bruno to the right. Bruno Guimaraes. The cut back, and Fabian Share just wide from 12 yards. Would have been a lovely third.
Big chance to get a third goal. Break onto them with pace. Little pullback over the top.
Out to Shaw, back into the box to Lindelof. 2-0 Newcastle, BBC Radio Newcastle. What an afternoon it's been. Burn, good challenge, they've won it, they've still got time to get a third. Anderson on the left wing, Wilson and Gordon in the middle. In the corner here, Elliot Anderson. Dan Burn there too, they've played it off a red shirt for a throw. Dan Burn interacts with the crowd. This Manchester United player injured. Marcel Sabitzer, I think.
Yeah, Sabitzer, yeah. It's got cramp, I think.
Total Sport from 6 tomorrow with post-match reaction, discussion about the game, and you can phone in to have your say. The latest from Sunderland 2. We're on Monday to Friday from 6 on BBC Radio Newcastle and BBC Sounds. You can listen to us anywhere in the world on BBC Sounds. Total Sport. And we'll have commentary on Wednesday at West Ham. Can't wait for that now. Here's the throw. Looking for Wilson. Headed away, but not clear exactly. And then it goes for a Newcastle throw. 35 yards out. All eyes on the referee, Stuart Atwell. Burn down the line. There's the final whistle. Newcastle United are back up to third place in the Premier League. Third in the table with 11 games to go. They've overtaken Spurs and Manchester United in the race for the Champions League. Joe Willock with a header pretty much on the goal line in this second half. And then Callum Wilson
Wilson with a header in off the base of the post from a Kieran Trippier free kick for number 2. It's just been a brilliant St James's Park afternoon and one of Newcastle's very best performances, and a terrific spectacle in front of a packed and noisy stadium and a set of fans, John Anderson, who will really be believing now as they move up 2 places to 3rd.
Yeah, look, first and foremost, it was a great game. It was the first half was electric. You always felt that they couldn't keep the pace up, but the intensity that we had in that second half of squeezing, pushing, putting Manchester United under all the pressure, and it's just about converting chances. You know, I think when you look back over the season and you look at our conversion rate, you know, we should have an awful lot more goals than chances that we have. But look at a big win, deserved win. Still a lot of football to be played. Wouldn't get carried away just yet. There's still plenty. 2 tough games coming up in the space of the next week, both away in London. Hopefully we can build on this, but it was a fabulous performance. It was a great game.
Newcastle go to 50 points. The first time they've reached 50 points in the Premier League since 2011-12, when they finished 5th and got into the Europa League. So that certainly augurs well. A first win over Manchester United since October 2019. And a first clean sheet for a while as well. They conceded in 8 games in a row, Newcastle. Their last clean sheet was the semi-final first leg at Southampton in January, and then the last Premier League clean sheet was 3 days before that at Crystal Palace. And Nick Pope wasn't really troubled too much, was he, by Manchester United attackers?
No, he had a couple of little ones that he just had to come and pick up. I suppose the biggest worry was the deflection off Botman that wrong-footed him. But he had very little to do. You know, the energy levels, the desire, everything about it, it was all there to see. You know, it was a deserved win. They were electric. They were brilliant. Second half, I mean, he took off his 2 mainstay centre-backs, Ten Hag. I think that said it all. You know, he felt that the game was away from them. They weren't going to get back into it. And it's a deserved victory. You know, they could have won it by more in the end.
Yeah. Joe Linton off the bar from De Gea. Chances in the first half.
Yeah, and as I said earlier, a conversion rate, if it was higher, we'd score an awful lot more goals. I mean, Willock's chance in the first half, huge chance. I know he scores, but you got to be hitting the target with that. You know, you got to be at least hitting the target. He doesn't. It goes over the top. But they kept plugging away, and they got the deserved victory because, you know, we were the better side. Yet
players and staff are doing their lap of the pitch to thank the supporters. Black and white flags are out, and so many have stayed to thank them for delivering another fantastic result and some brilliant football today. And how pleased are you, John Anderson, for Callum Wilson finally, who scored that second goal. He'd only scored 1 in his last 15 before today. His last goal was against West Ham. That's the only one since the World Cup, and he needed it.
Look, he was always going to score at some time.
Yeah.
He was always going to score at some time. Is he going to get back into the side on the back of that? No. Not with the way that Isak played today again. Although he didn't score, everything about his performance was top-notch. And Callum Wilson, he might well have to settle for cameo performances at the moment. But if the cameos are still like that, you'd be more than happy.
That's no problem, is it? Well, we'll see what Wednesday night brings at West Ham. We'll be live on BBC Radio Newcastle with commentary as usual. Total Sport from 6 tomorrow. Phone us to have your say and join in our discussion as we react to a huge win. Could be one of their biggest of the season, Newcastle. Might be one of their best as well. Joe Willock with a header in the second half, and then Callum Wilson with a header from a Kieran Trippier free kick. They are now 3rd in the Premier League after beating Manchester United by 2 goals to 0. Out to Murphy, right wing. Trippier on the overlap. Murphy cuts inside and still carries it. Looks for Isak at the edge of the box. He's brought it down, plays it through. Bruno Guimaraes chips it to the far post. Saint-Maximin. Oh! Goal! Joe Willock has scored the goal. Brilliant. A move involving so many of the players. And then Bruno rolled in by Isak at the edge of the box, chipping it to the far post. Saint-Maximin back across, and Joe Willock, who missed a glorious chance in the first half, this time made no mistake, this time hit the net, and it's Newcastle United 1, Manchester United 0. Very close to the corner quadrant, a couple of yards back, yard in from the touchline. Lots of black and white to hit. Trippier, good ball. Yes! Callum Wilson has scored, and it's the goal that we've all been waiting for, that he's been waiting for, and Wilson is back. No mistake with a header from Trippier's whipped free kick, and Wilson finds the net for only the second time since coming back from the World Cup. He needed that, and he might just have given Newcastle a monumental victory. It's Newcastle United 2, Manchester United 0.